And welcome to tonight's presentation of the Edinburg Roadrunners 350 here from Infineon Speedway in beautiful Sonoma, California. We got, looks like we got 24 NuffWORLD drivers out here ready tonight to take the green flag. 25 drivers out here ready to take the green flag tonight here at Sonoma. It's going to be a bit of a different race for most everyone here involved. You know, coming to these road courses, most everyone is not always prepared for road course, and it brings about a lot of differences here. Got up here in the booth tonight, got myself, Douglas Sargent, and Jacob Popolowski up here as your commentators with producer Stephen Mahana back there in the back. What kind of stuff are you looking for out here tonight, Jacob?
Well, hopefully we don't. There's a lot of cars, so here at a road course it could either turn out really, really bad, or it could turn out really with some good racing. So, like you said, there's a lot of people who aren't really prepared, or maybe aren't as up to par at road courses, but you never know. We'll see.
Yeah, I was looking through some of the stats here, and talking about some of the stats. One of the guys that really stood out here was that Dale Reynolds in that number 27 machine. He's got an average finish here over 8 races that we've run here on the NuffWORLD. His average finish is a 1.8. He has 3 wins here in 5 starts and 5 top 5. So definitely think he'll be one to look at tonight. But as we've seen Thursday night, in the Pure Sim, you got Lewis Bussa III, that number 3 machine, who he's only got 1 start here, but this will be his 2nd start. But he was looked very good the other night, as well as a couple of others. You look for Lewis Bussa to be a major threat to Dale Reynolds tonight, Jacob?
Yeah, I see Bussa as a threat now, no matter what track we're on here. Dale, he's always good on road courses. This is one of his best. I think last year's winner too, Jeremy Enox, he could come in here to play as well today too.
Right, you are. There's quite a few we can still look at, but Dale Reynolds is definitely, as far as the stats goes, would be the man to put the money on, so to speak. But like I say, we've just got some new racers out here and such. I know one that kind of impressed me watching him in practice and happy hour and such was that with Ben Bando. Cut out there for a minute, had some technical issues. Sorry about that, folks. But yeah, Ben Bando looked really good Thursday night and has looked real good out here in the happy hour and also in practice time too. So, he might be another one of those guys to look at. So quite a few that could be looked at for a run tonight.
Yeah, Bando was strong on Thursday. I've heard good things about him on road courses, so he could come out pretty much come out of nowhere and steal this victory today, maybe.
Now, one of the things you'll see tonight as we're racing here is, unlike a lot of others, places where we go, there's going to be what we call a lot of localized cautions, which is something kind of new for a lot of these guys that we've got to get used to. Also, car spins on a track, as long as he's out of the way and there's no 2-car involvement and such, these laps are going to stay green. So I think that's going to be another big factor tonight, is who can keep their car from spinning, who can stay on the track the longest. And one small spin, trying to get back on the track according to where you spin it at, we saw on Thursday night several guys spin in that hairpin there, turn 11, and guys sitting there have to wait for the pack to come through, and by the time you sit there and wait for 20, 30 cars maybe to come through, you could lose 45, 50 seconds on the racetrack, and you've almost lost a lap already. So that's a big thing. Is we have to keep those tires hooked up tonight.
Yeah, this track is just really, really slick off the corners. You get on it too fast or too hard, you're gonna go around no matter who you are, no matter what setup you have. So you got to be on your toes on that. And the good thing about this is this track, there's a lot of spread out racing as well. So we might see a lot of those solo car spins, but we'll not see the really big thing unless it's right together, right off a green flag.
Now, interesting stat to point out. We kind of talked about this during pre-race here, or well, our pre-race, but our own special Stephen Mahana back here, our producer. He started here 3 races here at Sonoma Speedway, and of those 3 races, has 3 top 5s, and actually has an average finish over his career here at a 4th place position. So, what do you see as a big contributor there, Stephen, as to how you got those all those top 5s right there like that with 3 races started here?
Well, honestly, it's basically just racing yourself. I mean, you just drive around the track, not tear up any of the tires. Just basically take it easy and do a Sunday drive.
Sunday drive on a Saturday. I see that. It's kind of like the you hear a lot of times the patient aggressiveness. You know, that's one that guys will definitely have to be working with here tonight. You're going to have to be aggressive when you can, but you've got to be very patient at the same time. So that's going to be the key, saving the car and keeping it together. And underneath you is a lot of these turns can come up on you pretty quick, especially if you're trying to decide to make a move on someone.
That's funny, Deucey. Asking Buster what the keys around here to getting around this track, and he didn't even know how good he was at this track before you told him.
Yeah, that is an interesting fact. The man has a 4th place average finish here, 3 top 5s in 3 races, and didn't even know his own stats. So yeah, definitely, it's good to have these stats up. Got to thank Ed Wilson for that. He's our stat master, keeps these stats and stuff together. You know, keep an eye on him out here tonight in that 88 also. He's had quite a few good runs here over the years, you know, with that 88 machine. So he might be someone to look for. This might be something he really needs to get himself a much-needed top 5, top 10 tonight, and kind of work up through the points a little bit.
Very, very unpredictable track, as with all road courses, so you never know. You could get a big surprise in there, maybe.
I know last week we didn't broadcast there, but you know, to kind of give you an update here, Brian Lee is now our points leader, as he's taken over the points, the #1 position in points after you know, quite a few good races here in the last few races, and you know, he's now leading by 31 points over Ben Britton. So Ben Britton at number 34 is still hanging out there, kind of almost like a repeat of last year for him in that case. You know, he's moved up into 2nd place now. I know at the 26 race mark last year, getting ready to head into the chase, and we spoke about that a few times. Ben Britton was our points leader, and he stayed up there. He seems to be on that same par this year. You know, a lot of good consistent finishes, keeping the car under and racing pretty smart. So you know, that's kind of an update on the #1, #2 there, as both of those guys have moved up in the standings. Now, another one that jumped up after last week's race was Christian Vasquez, moved himself into the 3rd place position. So, you know, a lot of these guys are starting to move up a little bit, having some good runs here lately. So this might be the wild card, so to speak, on where guys go as far as their points after this week with this course.
One thing some of these guys have to remember, that's up there in points, maybe top 10, that's good. But you know, you have to get the win in there somewhere. You have to, because when those points will reset, and you're sitting back there in 10th, having dominated the whole year. It's what happened to Ben last year. He dominated the entire season of points, but he didn't get that win, so he shuffled all the way back in points, and that's a lot tougher to make up than it's made out to be.
That is correct. I mean, you are right up there. I mean, those points are hard to make up anywhere you go. So. And that's kind of goes back to another interesting fact I was noticing here with our spreadsheets and points and such. But Louis Bussa, you know, he's our winningest driver out here so far this year. He's got 3 wins already this year in NuffWORLD competition. But you know, he's kind of mired back there too. So a win here tonight, you know, could, just like he did on Thursday night, could definitely pull him up a little bit, running 19th in the points right now. So he's definitely going to be a key to kind of look at tonight, you know, and see how everything goes for him. This could be a definite point of he's got to make something happen for himself, so to speak, with you know, only about 10 races to go before the chase.
Yeah, there's no solid run for Bussa. Like, some guys maybe hang around in around top 10, 5th place all day. It's for Bussa, it's either he pretty much wrecks or he's up there contending for the win almost every week.
That is correct. And I was looking at our live broadcast up there just a second ago, coming out of that left-hand turn there, getting ready to start down the S's there at the bottom of the hill. That's going to be a place to see a lot of action tonight, because that's one of those places on the track that you get that bump there on the inside, you got that bump on the outside too, and you know, the ideal chance there is to try to catch it in between both and keep that car going in the direction it should be. But you're going to see a lot of guys, you know, trying to make passes, especially trying to overbreak others, you know, and cut down that corner. You're going to see them coming off that little bump right there, and you're going to see some cars getting airborne tonight, I would venture to say.
Yeah, it's just tough on this racetrack because there's not a lot of easy places to pass. The only really easy place to pass if you get under a person is the hairpin corner, the last one on the track. But other than that, it's just really, really tough to pass somebody unless they get off the track and really slow down.
Yeah, that is true. There's a couple of fast places, and then there's a couple of places here. But kind of thinking about, we was talking about a little bit earlier, talking to Steven there, but some of the keys to the race tonight, just like he talked about, you got to keep those rear tires hooked up and the forward drive off the corners. I mean, if you get into the throttle too hard and too easy, just like you spoke about, Jacob, coming off those corners, that car is just going to not hook up. The tires are not going to be hooked up to the track, and you're going to spin those tires in the round you go, and that could ruin your day real quickly here. You also got to, think about that patience. We talked about that, and Stephen, you even alluded to that, the exact thing there, racing the track, not your competitors. This is one of those that you really don't, per se, race against the other drivers as much as you would most of the ovals that we go to each year. You've got to race the track. Take your best line, find your best line, stay with that best line, and keep your optimal times up in order to make it through here. I mean, it's not so much racing other guys. You can catch a guy, but you might get mired behind him for 3, 4, 5 laps, and just keep losing time. So it's not so much racing competitors here as it is racing the track. And you also got to know where and when, how to pass also under brake getting in those corners. Jacob, you talked about that earlier, that hairpin there in turn 11. You're going to see a lot of guys trying to break into that corner a lot harder than others, braking late, getting in there, trying to make that pass. Cause I think that's where we're going to see the most of our passing at tonight, that turn 11 hairpin right there. As far as our fuel mileage window, we're looking about 39 to 49 laps on the fuel mileage. So that's going to be another thing, is also making those tires. That's going to be a thing. We talk about keeping the tires hooked up, but we also got to talk about keeping those tires on that car, keeping them from overheating. I know doing some practice laps here and stuff Thursday night, I had a problem myself, with keeping that right rear, which is unusual to talk about, keeping that right rear. It was the hardest worn tire after about a 30-lap stretch for me, and we saw a lot of guys who out here practicing today haven't been getting that full fuel run in. So it's going to be interesting to see how some of these guys do with the worn tires once they start getting 10, 15, 20 laps on them, because those cars will go anywhere you want to pretty much for those first 10 laps with those fresh tires on, but worn tires will be another story. And then you always got to remember, this is a road course. You got to turn left and turn right. That right turn is usually it's something we don't really think about too much here with NuffWORLD, as we only do this about twice a year, but that right turn is going to be one that makes or breaks a lot of guys, like we talked about getting down into that turn 11 hairpin there, making that right turn. So that's going to be the keys to the race here tonight. But looking forward to a lot of great racing here. Looks like a lot of these guys right there are getting the last few laps of turn and such. But fastest guy on the chart right now is Louis Bussa, but followed by Bryn Britton out there in at number 34, who Ben's fastest time right now is only about 7/100ths of a second behind Bussa. So, going to have some, definitely going to see some guys out there tonight. And we also got Louis Bussa tonight on the pole with the, TB's Creative Designs Pole Award tonight. It's going to go to Louis Bussa in that number 3 City Chevrolet out there tonight. So, look for some great racing here to come in just a few minutes. So, well, let's take it away to the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rugged red glare, the
And we're back live here at Sonoma, California at the Sonoma Speedway for tonight's running of the Edinburg Roadrunners 350. Like I said, on the pole here tonight we got the Lewis bus. We're getting ready to drop the get out of here, get a pace lap going here. So, you know, going to be a lot of racing going on here tonight, like we've been talking about. You know, so a lot of these guys we're looking at it's 110 laps here tonight. So, like I say, you're looking at about 3-4 pit stops at least. Some of these guys are going to try to stretch it out. I think fuel mileage may be a big one to look at tonight. And we'll kind of run down the starting grid here as we get started for things tonight.
On the pole, of course, is the number 3 of Louis Bussa. In second, outside front row, is the number 27 of Dale Reynolds. The third is the number 33 of Ben Bando. In 4 is the 78 of Mel. 5th is the 48 of Dominic Caruso. 6th is the 34 of Ben Britton. 8th is the number 8 of Christian Vasquez. I'm sorry, 7th was Christian Vasquez. 8th is Danny Gutierrez. 7th is Howard Fuldrick in 9th place. And in 10th place is the 16 of Brian Lee.
Going off 11th tonight in the 03 machine will be Bruce Turner. Rolling out to his right will be the number 24 of Chet Garcia in that Autism Speaks awareness car tonight. Also rolled off in 13th, the number 62 of Doc Stout, one of the two Dodges out here in the field tonight. Then rolling off 14th will be the number 51 of Nick Timms. Rolling off at 15th will be the number 23 of Frankie Samato. Rolling off at 16th will be the number 83 of Timothy St. Jean. Rolling off in 17th, number 12 of Jerry Hinkle. Rolling off in 18th, man we spoke about during pre-race, the number 88 of Ed Wilson. Rolling off in 19th tonight, the number 99 of Dennis Jenkins in that throwback Western Auto scheme. I remember those back in the day. And rolling off in 20th, the number 28 of Steve Deo.
In 21st is the defending winner here, the number 29 of Jeremy Enochs. In 22nd is the 87 of Kevin Kelly Jr. In 23rd is the number 4 of Dennis Wright. In 24th is the 32 of Justin Barton. 30 and 25th is the number 30 of Kevin Kelly. 26th is the 15 of Darren Bench. And round out the field in 27th is the 91 of Brandon Lowe's, who will have to serve a drive-through.
Yeah, unfortunate thing there for Brandon, that number 91. You know, he had himself a good run here on Thursday night in our Pure Sim special, but you know, going to be having that drive-through on lap 1 tonight due to failure to be able to make the qualifying. So one of the NuffWORLD rules in place over here, you don't post a qualifying time, or if you miss qualifying, you got to serve a drive-through on lap 1. So he's going to kind of start the race out at a disadvantage, as this pit road here at Sonoma is a very long pit road.
Yeah, he'll have to make sure he doesn't overdrive that car and make sure he keeps those tires on, because I'm sure there'll be many cars who would get around here on the first run. But hopefully he'll keep that car straight on the road, keep those tires cool.
Yeah, that'll be the big trick tonight, keeping those tires cool and keeping that car pointing in the right direction. So, see the pace car dropping off out into the pits right now, so they're going to take their hard right down into turn 11. We spoke about that hairpin right there, and just be taking the green flag here just momentarily. So we're about to see some green flag racing here at Sonoma, California, as we get ready to take off on the Edinburg Roadrunners 350. And looks like we're getting the green flag now, as these guys are going to start hammering out and coming down to the start-finish line. Looks like the green flag just flew, and here we go. Heading off into turn 1, it's Louis Bussa moving away and takes it down into turn 1. So this is going to be the tricky part of the race with all these cars double file like this, trying to get through these corners and such. You're going to see a lot of guys with a lot of give and take right now.
Looks like the 7 of he got right on the third, right in the first corner. He cannot get off. He's really, really slow. He lost a lot of positions.
Yeah, it looks like Ben Bando was able to come out of that first couple of corners right there and really lock onto Louis Bussa's bumper there. And the two of them have kind of pulled away a little bit, got about a 1.2 second difference already on Dale Reynolds. So those three cars we've been talking about throughout the pre-race show already up front, starting to lead the way as we speak, heading down into the S's.
Yeah, Louis and Ben, they're both the top 2 cars on Thursday. They really dominated that event, and it's again showing you on Saturday.
Exactly. Now we know most of those guys, you know, they are very close and they talk a lot and share a lot of information back together. So I would venture to say those two are probably running about the identical setups right now as we head off into turn 11 here. You know, these guys are, you know, making some good time here. We're going to see what their first lap time is going to be, but those tires, you know, are starting to just now come up to heat and up the pressure for them. So they're going to start running some better times right now as Bussa is starting to distance himself a little bit going up into turn 1 here from Ben Bando and also from Dale Reynolds. So he might be trying to get a little advantage here and go ahead and pull this thing out a little bit.
Yeah, it depends on how some people view how they want to get the start going. Some will take it easy, let some guys go by if they think they're overdriving, or some right off the bat they'll drive hard just to get a little separation behind them so they can just settle in and get in a groove, get in a rhythm.
Exactly. Just to kind of give you an idea, like we talked about earlier, a little bit earlier there with the whole Brandon Lowe's incident, you know, missing qualifying and had to do that drive-through. He just completed his drive-through right now, and he's currently being shown 33 seconds behind the leader. So, you know, that just goes to show, you know, what that qualifying effort can mean out here, you know, being able to get time and stuff, because he's already at a 33-second disadvantage and just completed 1 lap. So he's got a lot of time he's got to make up now.
Yeah, it's pretty clear he's hoping for a caution, but he just has to make sure he stays composed, stays patient, because there will be a caution on this track. It's just bound to happen, but he has to make sure he just keeps those tires good. He cannot afford to have his tires go bad here on the first run this far behind.
Yeah, that's for sure. It looked like he was, you know, those tires were, he was having a little trouble getting there through the one hairpin up there at the top of the hill. Looks like it kind of caught that edge just a little bit, kind of jumped it, but he was able to keep it up off that wall. So we'll see. That'll be the interesting spot to watch tonight, as a lot of those guys will be up into that wall. But back up front here on our leader, Lewis Bussa is starting to stretch this thing out just a little bit. He's got about a 1.5 second lead already on Ben Bando, and Dale Reynolds still riding back there, 2.4 seconds behind in 3rd place position, kind of riding things out, just like Stephen, you talked about. He may be just doing that exact strategy, you know, being patient, racing the track and not the cars. So, you know, that's probably what he's trying to do back there, and just kind of see, you know, how his car does on his first run before, you know, making any kind of adjustments.
Yeah, I don't think he's actually in a hurry to go up there and challenge for the lead right now. They've got a lot of racing to do in this race. 110 laps. They've only turned 2. It is about you know, minute 13, 14, 15 seconds around this track. So long way to go, and they're just biding their time.
Yeah, that they are. They get down into it once again into this hairpin turn down here in turn 11. Looks like Bando got off a little bit too early, got on his throttle there a little bit too early coming out of that corner. And looks like he drove it out to the outside a little bit, had to get back out of it, gather it back in, and kind of get that car running again. So, you know, he lost a little bit more time right there. But I was noticing Lewis, when he was coming down the S's on the downhill right there, and he got to that end, the long looping right-hand turn, he's using quite a bit, actually, of those little bumps there on the inside to kind of help that car turn.
Yeah, it's one thing he likes to do on road courses, and a lot of people like to do, is they like to, if it feels like a corner that their car really can't get around well, though, or if they just want to get around the corner easier, sometimes they'll get up on that curve high and it'll turn their car around, lift the wheel off the ground, it'll turn their car around even more. But sometimes it can be dangerous to do that, but if you're used to it and you practice it a lot, it'll become of much use to you during the race.
Yeah, that will. Kind of looking back here in the field just a little bit, the 29 car of Jeremy Enix back here in 17th right now. You know, he's looking right behind Jerry Heaple is a little bit earlier, trying to make a move, getting ready to go down into the S's, but looked like, you know, coming into the S's, he had to settle it back down, pack back in behind Jerry Heaple, and falling down the hill now. So these guys had a pretty good battle going for that 17th position right there, which, you know, Jeremy, you know, he's not content to sit back there where he's at right now. You know, he's done very well here in the past, and he's one of those cars we talked about, you know, maybe one to watch tonight. So, but as it stands right now, running back there in 17th, he's got a long way to go at this point.
Yeah, he'll stay patient, and it's only lap 4. He'll get up there, and bound to be a caution sooner or later. He's pretty much got a fast car. We all know that, so he'll be up there, just a matter of time.
Yeah, that's Jeremy's usually, he's not used to running this far back at Sonoma at this early point, but we've always seen Jeremy's one of those guys who is always thinking. He's a thinking driver, so I'm sure he's got some strategies in mind as he gets around Hinkle there, coming in the uphill section and moves himself up into 16th. So he's going to start looking forward, start looking at the next guys. He's got clear track for quite a bit in front of him right now, so he's going to be able to run his own race and make the moves where he wants to make the move right now. So, he should be able to, I'm sure, bring that car back towards the front as we get on through these laps.
Yeah, it looks like right now this pretty much the entire field is all single file, most spread out. So it looks like to me most of these guys are content with where they're running and maybe waiting for some guys to run their tires off or spin around, but everybody's pretty happy where they are right now. It's only lap 5, so.
Yeah, I was just hearing on the radio there. Looks like the 24 of Garcia there coming down turn 10 there. Looks like he may have had a little trouble coming down the hill there and kind of spun that thing out. So, but he's got it fired back up and he's going back down the hill. So, no problems there. Looks like he just got in that corner a little too tight or a little too loose. That rear end kicked around on him as we talked about during pre-race, keeping those tires hooked up, and had to sit there for a little bit waiting on cars to go through. So, that is going to cost him a little bit of valuable time there. Looks like he put the nose also into that wall a little bit, so not sure how much damage that done to the car and how that's going to affect it. But one of the big things, having to sit there for a little bit and lose, an extra 5-10 seconds, being able to get that thing, backed up and back out on the track because of that. He's going to lose quite a few spots and also some valuable time there.
Yeah, it'll mainly hurt his speed, that damage, but most likely it won't hurt much because we're here on a road course like short tracks. Damage doesn't affect much. It'll still affect the car, just not as much as it would, of course, on a speedway.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, that's one of the forgiving factors, so to speak, here at Sonoma. As I've been told, the number 7 also went around there. So, some of these cars now, these guys, being 6 laps in, are starting to heat up those tires a little bit, and starting to get a little bit greasy and such. So, some of those cars, those tires aren't working like they were at the very beginning. So, we're going to see some stuff now that we may not have saw earlier, because, like we talked about, a lot of these guys may not have practiced a long fuel run. So, as we start getting into 15, 20 laps, into this race, it may be a whole different story for some of these tires.
And a lot of these guys who spin their car, those tires, of course, will heat up a lot. Their car might not feel right. Their tires might be a little bit more worn after spinning. It'll be interesting to see if some of these guys who have spun around maybe go in to pit a little bit earlier just because of the way that their car is and the way that their tires are.
Right, you are. And I was just looking there just a moment ago, that number 3 machine of Louis Bussa lose to, with the fact, that little spin there with the number 7 of Wildrick, he has already caught the number 7's about to put him a lap down. So, that's already cost him a lot of time and a lot of position. So, that's going to hurt Wildrick right now. But I'm sure he's, going to stick it out.
Looking back to the field, the 03 of Bruce Turner just made a pass in the hairpin on Gutierrez there. So Bruce Turner moving up another spot. Really the only action we've really seen so far in this race.
Yeah, that's one of the things. These guys are they're going to be content a lot of times to kind of ride behind another car, and pick and choose. It's not going to be a lot of what we would normally refer to as dive bombing into the corners. A lot of these guys are going to be very patient about making their corners, making their turns. But kind of looking back through the field here, like you were talking about, the number 91 of Brandon Lowe's. We talked about him, back there on lap 1 having to make that pit stop. But he's currently moved himself back up into the 19th place position now. So, he's starting to move that car forward a little bit now that he's out there making some green flag laps. So he's trying to make up all that time that he lost down there on pit road. So he's definitely moving that car forward and, trying to do so as much as he can right now. Currently showing about 53 seconds behind the leader, but there's a lot of traffic. That's going to be the thing about it. Once these leaders start getting into some of the traffic, Brandon might be able to make up, cut into that deficit quite a bit if he ain't got no cars in front of him, which he doesn't right now.
Yeah, Brandon, he's a very under the radar road course racer. He's very good at road course racing, and he knows what he's doing out there. So he'll get around, he'll get up there. And just as long as he keeps his car straight on the track, he'll be fine. Which is a problem he had in Thursday's race. He got around a few times. He could never really get up there to race with the leaders.
Yeah, that's one of the things. Getting mired back in traffic here can definitely hurt you on this track. But with the weather spread out right now, that's going to be one of the things, that's going to play out for a lot of these guys who might be mired back a little bit, in the traffic. Is that everything's getting stretched out now, so they'll be able to make up some time and such. So that's going to be a big help for these guys. So started back there in 26, fell all the way back to 28 due to that that drive-through, and now moved himself up to 19th. And so he's definitely a driver on the move right now, and one that we'll have to keep an eye on throughout the race tonight.
Well, another one I've been keeping my eye on is the 29 of Jeremy Enox that we talked about earlier. Last year's winner. He's up there at 13th. The last time we talked about him, he was around 17th place. He's up to 13th now. He just got by Dylan Stowe about 2 corners ago, so he's continuing to move up through the pack.
Yeah, he's running right behind Frankie Samanto now in that 23 machine. So he's definitely moving up through the field. He's picked up 10 positions since we started. So he's definitely on a move right now. Trying to make his way up to the front. So once he gets up past a few more of these cars, makes himself into the top 10. That'll be the time to really start pushing maybe a little bit harder. Is Jeremy? Looking at his lap time, he's really not pushing that car all that hard right now. So he's definitely racing the track and not the competitors at this point. But he's definitely having himself a good run. He's moving up real close. Looks like he'll be trying to make a move here in the next couple of corners on Frank. As Frankie moves over to the right there, lets him go. Sees he's definitely got a faster car. So Jeremy moves himself up into the 12th place position now and sets sight on the 11th place of number 51 of Nick Timms, who's got a pretty good little distance there. There's about a 3-second gap between the two of them. So Jeremy's gonna try to make it up, and try to make up that distance. So definite moving forward right now on Jeremy Nix.
Yeah, it's only 10 laps into the race, but tires could be playing a factor, and already it's amazing sometimes how much of a difference in such a short amount of time, how much of a difference can it make on the tires.
Yeah, it looks like I've been told here Dennis Jenkins has put his car behind the wall now on that number 99 machine. Looks like he was coming off the hairpin there and got in the throttle quite a bit, and coming through up to the start-finish line, just may have misjudged that inside wall there a little bit, made some contact with it, bounced it out into that outside wall, and showing suspension completely damaged on that machine. So it looks like he'll be the first one to retire tonight. As I know that Dennis was looking for a better run than that tonight, but unfortunate bad break for Dennis Jenkins tonight.
Yeah, looking back, he's still in 4th place, but the 27 of Dale Reynolds was running 3rd. He went around up to the first corner there, first 2 corners, and he had to get off the dirt. He lost a spot, but he's back on the track. He only lost 1, but you have to make sure doesn't look like he got any damage on that car.
Yeah, it looks like he just got in there, and like we talked about, those tires are starting to heat up a bit now, at this point in the race, and looks like he may have just got back into the throttle a little too early, and when he did, that rear end came around on him, spun it off into the grass and the dirt there for a little bit, and it'll catch it back down in first gear and pull right back out. So lucky for him, the position he spun at, sometimes you get lucky like that, there's nothing there to hit. So in this case, it was, if he's going to spin it in any place, that would be the one to do it. But Dale is definitely, like you said, he's maintained that number 4 position. So, he lost a position there to Chris Melton, who moves him up into 3rd right now. But Dale's continuing to move on forward. Looks like he didn't heat those tires up too badly, and, he's still moving forward at this point.
Well, Loris Bussa and Ben Band of the front 2 have just started breaking their way in the back of the pack for lap traffic, and only 11 laps in just shows you the pace that they're running right now around the track.
Yeah, it looks like the next car in line there for Louis Bussa is going to be that number 32 of Justin Barden, who there's about a 1.5 seconds there between the 2 of them right now. But, at the speeds that Bussa's running here right now, he's definitely got the car hooked up to this track and definitely running a good race. As, right there in front of him, he's got 3 cars up there all together. So he may have to definitely time out when he wants to make this pass and be very smart about how he makes it, or that could be a game changer for him altogether.
Yeah, talk about Justin Barden. He's had a really good year this year. I know he's had some trouble the past few weeks, and he wasn't very happy when he's coming to road course. He doesn't really like road courses that much, but he's a guy that's had a really steady solid season so far.
Yeah, he's definitely having a solid season so far this year. You know, he's running up there in 22nd right now. He's kind of looks like he's doing what he can. You know, he's not one of those talking to him throughout the week. You know, he's not a big fan of road course racing, but he's out here making the very best that he can out of this. And we saw him there just a little bit earlier. You know, he decided to better park discretion of valor there. He moved over to the right, let Lewis Bussell have that inside line to get around him and go ahead and, you know, go a lap down. But you know, that's one of the things. I mean, if Barden keeps that car, you know, pointing the right direction, he's, you know, not as fast as the leaders, but he can still walk away from it with a very good position here, just due to the fact that a lot of these guys you're going to see throughout the night, you know, pit strategies and such. As I see this one, you know, starting to go a lot of green flag laps as Lewis Bussell makes his way on around some of these other cars and clears all those lap cars that we just talked about a lap earlier. So looks like we got the 51 machine though of Nick Timms down in the pits. I'm not sure if he's just trying to, you know, maybe get some fresher tires on that machine, or if he was having some problems. We'll have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, with only 13 laps in, if it was a tire issue or what, just shows how much these tires can wear. Because the fuel window, the fuel can go about almost 40 laps during this run, but it's just the thing, if the tires can make it, for most of these guys, I don't think the tires can make it that far.
Yeah, that's going to be maybe one of the telltale signs as this race goes on, you know, is looking at the tire wear. You know, if guys can go out there and make some fast laps on these tires, but it's all about, you know, the longer you stay out there, you know, the more positions you're going to make up. That's why I was kind of talking with Barden there a little bit about Barden there a little bit earlier. You know, if he keeps the tires into that car, doesn't heat them up, and kind of takes care of the car a little bit, there's a good possibility, you know, he could still move up quite a few positions in each fuel run, you know, and by the end of it, still, you know, be in a real good position.
Well, I'm going to go back to what Steven said at the beginning. It's like a Sunday drive out there, so maybe he could, if Barden, he could take it like a Sunday drive out there. Even on a Saturday, he still get a good finish.
That it is, you know, and that's the thing about it, you know, racing the track, not the competitor. So, you know, that's going to be the big key, I think, here tonight, you know, keeping that car hooked up, you know, and racing the track itself. Because you start getting around other cars, you want to make those passes that, you know, a lot of guys get real excited or a little nervous, you know, when they start getting around other cars. They want to get back to the gas a little bit earlier, and that'll cause that rear end to come unhooked. That's kind of like what we saw a little bit earlier with Dale Reynolds. You know, that rear end comes unhooked, you go right around, and then you got all those all that time and all those positions to make back up. As this field has really become spread out right now. As the latest victim that got lapped there by Lewis Bussell was the 88 of Ed Wilson. So they've made themselves up. Lewis has. He started lapping the top 20 cars now, so, you know, he's moving up into, well, he just lapped the, like I said, 19th place machine, and currently has Jerry Hinkle, the next car in front of him.
Yeah, Vando sitting there in second is, he's sitting there just about 3 seconds behind. It's not moving. It's not, he's just staying there 3 seconds behind. He's been running about the same lap times, and if Bussell gets in a bit dense lap traffic, Vando could get there.
Yeah, one of the guys I was kind of watching during practice too, though, was that 78 of Chris Melton. He's definitely you know, knows his way around this road course, and had a lot of good laps, you know, ran there during the practice we had there prior to race broadcast and such. And I know he put quite a few laps down here, so, you know, I'm looking for him to. He's going to be one of the guys I think that definitely knows what his car can do on a long run. And right now, he's kind of, you know, running back there in third, but he's only 11 seconds back, so he's definitely trying to take care of that car, and I think he may have a strategy on what he wants to do, you know, kind of maintain that position right now. Yeah, currently he's, you know, listed 16th positions gained so far in the race, so, you know, he's averaging more than one position gained every lap out here right now. So, you know, he's definitely got a setup under him he's got to be comfortable with, and seems to be moving forward real quick with it. So, you know, we'll see, you know, as time rolls on. He may be the surprise dark horse here that we haven't really talked a whole lot about during pre-race, but he's definitely looking good at this point.
Actually, the guy behind him, Dale Reynolds, he was sitting in that third spot before his car went around. He's actually started making up a little bit of time on Melton there, so it looks like that spin really didn't phase Dale at all or his car.
Yeah, well, then that's a fortunate incident there for Dale, you know, being able to keep those tires from getting torn up or getting any kind of damage. So that's definitely going to help him out here in the long run as this race goes on. You know, he'll be able to make up those precious seconds that he did lose when he spun. But you know, right now it's just getting through this long first fuel run, getting through this pit strategy, and getting back up there on the tracks, trying to you know, continue to make as much progress forward as you can, you know, until we get to that point. You know, if there's a caution comes out later on, or you know, pit sequences start to happen, that's where you can make up or lose a lot of ground. So that may be the key opportunities right now for Dale Reynolds getting back up there. We'll kind of take you through the field here, looking as we've been talking all night. So far, up front, the number 3 car in first place position, Louis Bussa, currently running right now all by himself, unchallenged, has led every lap here tonight. So he's continuing what he's been doing pretty much about all year. So, you know, like we talked about, he's looking to move that points position of his back up this week. Running back in second, we got the number 33 machine of Ben Bando. So, you know, he's been running pretty much in that same exact position. They've been 1-2 pretty much all night. Kind of looks like a Dover race all over again, other than, you know, we're out here on the road course tonight. And then we just talked about a little bit earlier there, the 78 running back there in third position of Chris Melton. So he's definitely got that car hooked up and running good here tonight. You know, he's one of the ones we haven't talked a whole lot about during pre-race. So he's our, in my opinion, he'll be the dark horse we kind of got to watch tonight, because he may be the one come here to steal the show altogether. Running back here, we'll look a little further back here in fourth position. You talked about him a little bit earlier there, Jacob. You know, Dale Reynolds running in at fourth place position. He's about 19 seconds behind, but looks like you know, he didn't get no damage or didn't tear the car up, didn't really wear the tires out too bad on that spin that he had coming off of turn 3 there a little bit earlier. So that's a good thing for him, you know, and he's got that car still running forward. He's about 5 seconds or so behind Chris Melton right now, so you know, he's definitely looking to move forward a little bit. Yeah, it looks like we got a car off the track down in turn 1 there. Looks like the 88 machine got off the track there for a little bit, but he's back up on the track, kind of moving that car along again now. So not sure what happened there. Looks like he may have just had kind of the same deal everybody else has. That rear tires came unlocked there for just a second, unglued to the track, and you know, was able to spin it around and got it moving back in the right direction.
Yeah, I caught that out of the corner of my eye. He went off the track and he hit those tires. On, which is like a wall out there, so that could cause some damage to his car.
Yeah, kind of looking at the right side of that car right now. Looks like he took a pretty good shot right there in the door. So don't think that'll be something to drastically hurt him here tonight. But you know, he definitely looks like took a good shot in the driver's side, or I'm sorry, the right side door there. So you know, might be something he'll spend a little time on, a couple extra seconds fixing down on pit road later tonight. All right, looking back up here in fifth position as we take you through the field, looks like it's the number 34 right now of Ben Britton. We talked about him a little bit earlier. You know, he's had himself a good last few races, moved himself up into the top 3, you know, in points right now. So he may be looking to have another good run here tonight and kind of steal the show from Brian Lee, you know, to take that number 1 points position away and lead the points coming out of here tonight.
Yeah, and sixth is the 8 of Christian Vasquez. He's been running around there pretty much this entire race. He's just been hanging around there. He's been switching spots with the guy right behind him, the 03 of Bruce Turner. These two really just been switching spots. Haven't really gained anything on leaders, but they're just hanging around there. Nothing wrong with them. They could be up there sooner or later.
You know, as Christian was going by there a little bit earlier, I noticed that right side door there looks like he's been up against something also. We may have to get our pit road porters kind of check on that, but looks like he got a pretty good little dent there in that door, so he must have got into something a little bit earlier too.
Yeah, he was in a bit of traffic. He was running about 4th place, but he had moved back suddenly. Not sure. I didn't catch what happened to him, but something might have happened to him that caused him to drop back that far. But he's still running solid. He's trying to, good thing to get yourself back into a rhythm here at a road course like this, because if you break out of that rhythm, it could really kill you in one turn.
That it can, but yeah, looking at the close-up there, it looks like he had some damage there on the front right fender and also on the right side door, but looks like he still got the car moving in the right direction, doing what he wants it to do, so apparently that damage isn't hurting it too much. But we'll kind of go back here, as you alluded to a little bit earlier, running 7th right now is Bruce Turner in at 03. He's having himself a good solid run here tonight. You know, being the champion coming from last year, that's one of the things he's focused on more so than ever right now, is putting together some good runs and keeping that car in contention at races, because he's not had the kind of season he's definitely wanted to, you know, following up last year's championship. So he's definitely looking to regain some points here tonight and kind of move himself back up in the points. So, you know, look for that young man to continue to march that car forward, but be very smart about how he does it here tonight.
Yeah, and in 8th is the 08 of Danny Gutierrez. He's still hanging around there. He's pretty much been in that spot the whole race, around 8th, 9th, 10th. He's just hanging around. There's only 20 laps into the race, so maybe during pit stops you can pick up a few and adjust his car on his first few pit stops.
Yeah, we just got the report from down on pit road. Reporter down there. It looks like the number 32 of Barden there, coming up into the into turn 1 there, looped it around right in front of the 27 of Dale Reynolds. About had themselves a nice little mishap there. So Reynolds and Barden both able to escape away from that without any damage. But Barden definitely lost the rear end of that car for a couple of seconds. But if you notice on the replay here, as you watch it, you'll see Dale Reynolds kind of comes right into it, into the smoke, as Barden went, you know, through the grass, across the dirt, back across the track, right in front of Dale. He had to make some quick evasive moves there in the smoke to keep from hitting the 32 of Barden. But he got a complete 360, didn't hit anything, kept it moving straight. So it's a very good thing of it.
Yeah, and back here in 11th is the 48 of Dominic Caruso. He few corners ago he just went off the track into the dirt, and that part of the racetrack, if you get off there, the dirt will really slow you down. It doesn't as much spin you around, but it just slows you down a ton, like in quicksand.
Yeah, that it does. I mean, you get into that dirt, it just kind of slows everything down. Yeah, it looks like Dom may have just got into the corner there, looking at the replay, a little too hot, locked up those front tires and slid it right off into the grass there. Made sure, luckily enough, he got into it, didn't hit anything. So that's the good thing about it. He's able to keep that car, you know, from any damage. But he's right now got Jeremy Enix right there on him too. So, you know, looks like those guys had something going on there for a moment. But kind of go back through the field here now. A guy we talked about a little bit earlier there, we were talking with him, the number 29 of Jeremy Enix, currently running in the 9th place position. He's continuing to march himself forward, you know, moved up into that 9th place. He's been pretty steady so far tonight, so, you know, as long as he keeps that car steady and keeps it moving like he is right now, he should have a very good night here. As you know, I see him picking up a lot more positions just like he has. He started way back in the field and has picked up quite a few positions and continues to keep that car at 29 moving towards the front. So, you know, it won't be all that long, another 30 laps or so. I can see him probably up into the top 5.
Yeah, and back in 10th is the 16 of Brian Lee. He started 9th. He's pretty much been around 10th this whole race. He's sitting there in 10th right now. So looks like he has a top 10 car, but he could make that one adjustment that could make it a top 5.
Yeah, that one adjustment may be very well what he needs. You know, he's been staying right there in that one position, so it looks like he's got a car that he's comfortable with at this time. Hasn't been losing a whole lot of spots, so that's something he'll continue to work on throughout the night. You know, as these tires are really starting to give way on these guys. I've noticed a lot of them sliding around a little bit more now with 20-plus laps into the run here. These cars are starting to, like I said, give up a little bit. But looking back right behind him, we just talked about this young man just a few minutes ago, the number 48 of Dominic LaRusso, currently running in 11th place position right there behind Brian Lee. So, you know, he's continuing to keep himself up into the right outside of the top 10. So, you know, good run tonight for Dominic in that machine. So he's definitely going to be looking to move that car back forward as he was a little bit earlier. But right now, with those worn tires and just spun out, I'm sure he's a little more content to kind of race the track at this moment and kind of take it just a little bit easier until he gets some new tires on.
Yeah, when you're this late into a run, and you go around like that, it could really weigh on you, and you could it might force you to pit early, but you just got to make sure you stay calm and just make sure that you keep it taking it easy until the next round of pit stops.
Yeah, it looks like, looking off to the side of my screen there, it looks like Dennis Wright in the number 4 machine just decided to take his car down pit road too. Looks like he's going to take on some tires and fuel. But looking back here in the 12th place position as we go through the field here, but you know, no surprise, so to speak, but a man who's really been moving forward all night long, just continues to drive forwards. That number 91 of Brandon Lowe's, you know. We talked about him on lap 1 having to make that drive-through penalty, so he started all the way at the very tail end of the field here, back in 27th position, has made his way all the way up to the 12th place position right now, but you know, still trying to get the most he can out of that car and, so to speak, running for his life right now, because he's got the leader only about 5-6 seconds behind him in Lewis Bussa right now, so he's been a bit of a disadvantage, you know, ever since the start of this race, drop of the green flag, but he's continued to maintain that car and continue to move it forward. One good break here for him, and he could be a definite top 5 here tonight.
Yeah, as long as he kept that car straight, I really expected him to come through the field like he did. Plus, with a drive through and everything, starting dead last, he's done a really good job right now. So he just needs to keep. He's in a nice rhythm. He's on a roll right now. So he just needs to keep that up. Make sure when he comes in for pit stops, he makes the right adjustments that he knows he needs, and make sure he gets on pit road clean too.
Yeah, I was looking, noticing off to the right-hand side there of Lowe's as he comes through with Brandon. Looks like that 48 LaRusso has decided to head down pit road. Looks like a lot of these guys are opting to take tires very early. I don't think they would be at the end of their fuel run yet, but a lot of these guys may be at the end of that tire run, so to speak. So quite a few cars heading down pit road already. You know, we saw. Let's see, Nick Thames has been down. We've seen, you know, the 4 of Dennis Wright head down. Now we see the 48 of Dominic LaRusso, you know. So a lot of these guys are opting to take tires a little early in this run.
Yes, some of these guys too, it might be just strategy, or it could be just because they feel like their tires are gone and worn already, but you never know really. But some of these guys you'll see stay out for a long time, and others you'll just see come in early. It's just the way that the tires wear here.
Yeah, and looking back here in 12th place, I'm looking at Frankie Samato right now running in the 12th place position in that number 23 machine. You know, he's continued to kind of stay about right where he's at all night, but he's got that leader back there closing pretty closely. I'm being told the 83 of Timmy St. Jean had some problems there, and he's off the track. Looks like he's you know, having a hard time getting that thing going in the right direction and actually getting back on the track right now, as he's having to wait for a lot of cars to go through. And now he spins it back around, gets it back on the track, and heading in the right direction. So a lot of time lost right there for Timmy St. Jean on that spin. So unfortunate event for him.
Yeah, and actually going back up to the leaders, first and second, Ben Bando, looks like he's starting to get right on the back bumper of Lewis Bussa there. He's within a second right now. He was 3 seconds back last time we checked on him. He's sitting there. He's running pretty much a little bit faster lap times, and he's catching him little by little.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, he was 3-4 seconds behind Bussa there for a little bit, but looks like he may be saving a little better on the tires than what Lewis Bussa has, as his lap times haven't been falling off quite as much as what Lewis Bussa's is, and he's pulled right back up there. He's picked up about another 2-3 seconds on Lewis Bussa now as this thing gets into the 26 lap area, you know. So as these tires have worn, Bando has definitely you know, been able to keep his lap times a lot better than what Lewis Bussa has so far. So this may be a good strategy on Bando's part, you know, to be able to lead some laps here towards the end of a fuel run. And if this thing continues to go green for a long period like that, and him having a better long run green car, then he might be stealing the show before it's all over with from Lewis.
Yeah, they pretty much been running the same lap times this whole run. It might have just been lap traffic that got Bando up there right behind Lewis, but they're both pretty much on the same setup. Between these guys, it's really who can get around the track better and save the tires the best.
Yeah, that's definitely the story here, saving the tires. As we've seen a lot of guys, already coming through, the pit lane, getting some new tires already. So those will be guys I'm sure to watch are going to be making their way through the field pretty quickly. But with those new tires versus old tires, and everybody being on different pit strategies now, it's going to make things a little more interesting out here for these guys who are out here on old tires to see those cars, come flying up behind them so quickly. But it's also going to have to keep those guys with the new tires. They're going to have to stay on their toes because they're going to be catching cars a lot quicker than what they're used to so far in this race. So they've got to make sure and make their decisions on where they're going to pass, or if they try to make it too early, it could be disastrous for both cars involved. But going back here, looking at the number 87 back here in 13th, a guy we haven't spoke a whole lot about tonight, but Kevin Kelly Jr. putting together another solid run here. His first ever, NuffWORLD, road course race here. So Kevin Kelly Jr. running in 13th right now, showing a lap down, but handling himself pretty good for this young man. I mean, his first road course race here within the NuffWORLD, and keeping himself right there in 13th, and has pretty much stayed in about that area about all night. So he's definitely staying consistent, and that'll be pay off dividends big time down the road, especially for his confidence as we come here, go to the next road course later on through the year, that he's got through this first one.
Yeah, it does show him a lap down, but it doesn't really do him justice the way that he's running. He's doing a really good job out there. His first time on Infineon, and it's just that leader, Lewis Bosa and Ben Bando, those two, they're just setting such a pace right now. It's just hard for anyone to keep up.
Yeah, and another car I was kind of taking a look at here. He's running back there behind Kevin Kelly Jr., but that 24 of Chuck Garcia, we talked about him a little bit earlier, had that spin coming down out of the S's, and looks like he definitely took some pretty hard nose damage there looking at the front of that car. It looks like he caved it in pretty good, so that might help with the downforce on his car, overall. It won't be the aerodynamic benefactor, to be able to get the speed up down that long S curves and such, but it'll definitely keep that front end glued to the ground a little bit better. So, but he's definitely got some damage from that one we talked about a little bit earlier.
Looks like we have another taker on pit road. Is the 16 of Brian Lee. He was running 10th. He was running there pretty much the entire run, but he's decided to come in pit road a little bit earlier than the rest of them.
Yeah, he's definitely coming down pit road. Another taker on pit road, to get some fresh rubber on those tires on that car. But looks like Jerry Hinkle was also in there. If that's what I saw out of the corner of my eye, it looked like the number 12 pulling out right in front of him there. So also Hinkle down on pit road. So quite a few cars starting to take advantage of pit road and get some new tires on that car. So hearing a lot of these guys, saying that the tires are wired a lot quicker than what they thought, listening to team communications and team radios. But some of these guys are complaining about these cars are, wearing tires a lot faster than they thought they were. I'm being told we got the number 34 of Ben Britton heading down pit road also. So that's kind of a surprise to me. I thought Ben would be one of those guys that stayed out there quite a bit longer on these tires and tried to maximize the use of them. But he is definitely coming down pit road, looks to get some new tires. So Ben Britton and the 34 also on pit road. So a lot of the guys, starting to come down pit road a little earlier than we thought we'd be seeing them, Jacob.
Yeah, it's just really interesting because they could go probably 10 more laps on field, but it's just the way that their tires are, the way that this track is, their tires just maybe can't make it that far.
Yeah, and we talked about Brian Lee coming into pits there just a moment ago with that unscheduled that pit stop he just made. It drops him back to the 16th place position right now. He's running right behind the 51 of Nick Timms. So
Link engaged.
Welcome to TeamSpeak, advanced voice communication software for any platform. TeamSpeak allows groups of people to communicate and share information with anyone via the internet or through private networks. Using your Windows, Mac or Linux-based computer All you need is a headset with microphone, and in minutes you can be chatting with others in real time using our crystal clear voice technology. As a pioneer in the industry, TeamSpeak has become one of the most recognized brands in online gaming and voice-over IP solutions. TeamSpeak features include a customizable toolbar, a clickable server icon and support for channel icons, custom graphics and BB code-enabled info panes, detailed user info and support for uploading avatars, firewall-friendly file transfer, tabbed public and private text chat with logging, custom skins, themes and sound packs, and much more.
I'm someone that's more than just a casual gamer. It's important to me to have fast, organized, quality voice comms. With TeamSpeak, I'm able to quickly customize user permissions and email a privilege key to an offline user. So the next time they log into the server, they'll be set up exactly how I want them to be. TeamSpeak also lets us do file transfers, assign player rank, insignia, upload avatars, or create custom skins. For me, there's no better choice out there than TeamSpeak.
TeamSpeak is free to use for non-commercial entities. Low-cost professional hosting is also available through our global network of authorized TeamSpeak host providers. For online gaming titles, social networks, government, military, or simulator projects, TeamSpeak also offers a software development kit. The TeamSpeak SDK allows developers to integrate our technology directly into their existing product or service. So no matter which game you're playing, or with whom you wish to communicate, TeamSpeak has you covered. TeamSpeak. Flexible, powerful, crystal clear voice communication on any platform.
And we're back here live in Sonoma, California for the Edinburg Roadrunners 350 here tonight, sponsored by NuffWORLD TV. Sorry about the little interruption there. Had some technical difficulties back here. Looks like some of our equipment had a small issue, got it fixed. Stephen Mahana back there, our producer, working his butt off tonight to make sure to bring you the live action here. Had to jump on that real quick and get a couple of technical engineers in here. But we're back here live right now, and you know, as we were going there, pretty much a lot of things stayed about the same. Lewis Buss is still running up front, leading the way, has led every lap so far here tonight. A few other cars while they're going away decided to head down pit road, one of those being the 33 of Ben Bando. So Chris Melton has now moved himself up into the number 2 position, and Dale Reynolds currently running third, about 6 seconds or so behind Chris Melton. So right now, Lewis Buss with a 28.9 second lead over second place Chris Melton. So, you know, he's definitely stretched things out here tonight and been making the most out of that car, that's for sure.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how long Lewis goes here on the rest of his fuel here. He could probably make it about maybe 10 more laps, but maybe I'm not sure how far his tires can make it because just about everybody else is pitted except 2 cars behind him.
Yeah, looking at the way that car came around that corner right there, though, that last corner before the start-finish line, he was pretty sideways on that one. Looks like the tires might be starting to get pretty warm on that back end of the car, so it's getting a little squirrely on Lewis. But, you know, he's got a pretty comfortable lead right now. He can kind of take it easy and kind of, you know, wait for when he wants to take a pit stop at this point with a 30-second gap almost currently. So, you know, Lewis definitely, you know, got the big advantage right now. But it's going to be interesting to see Ben Bando, like we talked about, drop down into pit road in that number 33 machine and got some new tires. So he's being shown currently in the 4th place position. So with those brand new tires and such. If Louis Bussa does drop down into pit road, it'd be interesting to see just how much time Bando will be able to make up.
Yeah, Bando can make up a lot of time, especially the way that Lewis's car has been handling. And it looks like Lewis is going to stay out another lap here, which is going to cost him even more time, but his car seems to be handling fine.
Yeah, it looks like we got the 51 of Nick Timms as well as the number 87 of Kevin Kelly Jr. there. They're back on pit road. Nick's back on pit road for his second time tonight. Kevin Kelly Jr. on pit road for the first time has now gotten back off. So, just about pretty much everybody except the top three right now have been down pit road and gotten a fresh set of tires. So, the top three, Louis Bussa, Chris Melton, and Dale Reynolds, the three left the pit. So, it's going to be interesting to see everybody gets through this pit cycle. So, we've seen some of these races come down to the simple fact that guys mess up on pit road and ends up pretty much costing them 10, 12 positions or sometimes even a race.
Yeah, Nick, he pitted really, really early. Probably one of the first guys to come in pit road. So, not a surprise that he's coming down again for his second time. I'm not quite sure what his plan is or if something just went wrong.
Yeah, right now he's being shown in 19th position, currently 2 laps down. So, he's definitely, I don't think that first pit stop he made, I really don't think on lap 11 that was a scheduled pit stop they had planned on making. As I'm looking at the 33 and 27 here of Bando and Dale Reynolds, as Bando gets right around Dale Reynolds, moves himself up into the number 3 position now and sets his sight on second place, Chris Melton, as he made that pass relatively easy with those brand new tires on that car. So Bando's already starting to move back up to the front.
Yeah, right now looking at the lap times, Bando, he's running about 4 seconds a lap quicker than what Lewis is right now. So that could really come into play, and Bando could have quite a sizable lead when Lewis comes down to pit.
Yeah, and right now he pushes it down inside, goes underneath the 16 of Brian Lee there to try to get around him. And he's got Chris Melton right in front of him in that second place car. So, even with that pit stop, it was a good strategy on Bando's part because he's right back in getting ready to take over that second place position here. So he's really not lost anything and already pitted. As I haven't seen Chris Melton make that, he gets down in the grass just a little bit there trying to make that corner cut underneath Melton, and now he makes it, moves himself up into second position, and starts moving forward now as the 16 of Brian Lee followed through also. So Melton will be put back to third now, Ben Bando running in second, and of course Louis Bussa is still out front. But like you said, Jacob, Bando is definitely making up some time on Louis Bussa right now.
And now we finally see Lewis coming in. Right behind him is also the 8 of Christian Vasquez. So both of these guys coming down for their first pit stops of the day.
Yeah, now this will be interesting as Bando was about 32 to 33 seconds behind Louis Bussa. He's dealing with a lot of traffic right now. He's coming through to see if he can get up there and take that lead, at least lead one lap here tonight. But so far, it's been Louis Bussa led every single lap so far tonight. So it's going to be interesting to see if that pit strategy plays out a little bit here in the favor of giving a bit of a lead to Ben Bando.
Yeah, I think Bando's he's going to come around, he's going to take the lead as Bussa just gets into his pit stall. So Bando, he's going to have a pretty big lead here when Bussa comes out of the pits.
Yeah, I would venture to say he's going to have at least 10-15 seconds on Louis Bussa. So that earlier pit strategy may have been a big factor there for Ben Bando. It may have really worked out in his favor as we see Louis Bussa just now coming off a pit road, and we've been told Dale Reynolds now is heading down pit road, giving up that number 4 position.
Yeah, we're finally just about seeing everybody else. Everybody else has just about completed their pit stops. Melton is just getting his service done, and Dale, he's coming in for his pit stop, his first of the day.
Yeah, and with that, like I say, with that early pit strategy on Ben Bando's part, that leaves him up in the number 1 position about, like we said earlier, 15 seconds ahead of Louis Bussa now. So, that's about a 45-second difference from when Bussa came in, where he was running at, to where Bando currently has a lead for now. And looks like Bussa still, has lost another second to Bando just this lap. So, Bando may have made some changes to that car and definitely has it moving forward.
Yeah, he was right there with Busta the whole time, and he hasn't really. There's not much of a tire difference between their two cars after his pit stop, but both of them are fast, so this could have played out really well for Bando the way that he played it out.
Yeah, I'm hearing on the NuffWORLD admin channels over there, it looks like the number 8 of Christian Vasquez, a little too fast down pit road, got himself a drive-through there, so he's going to be serving a penalty on top of what he had already, the time he'd lost there on pit road, so costly pit stop there for number 8.
Yeah, that's tough for him. He was running pretty good. He was out there in the top 10 pretty much all day, so it's tough for him for that to happen to him, but he's going to have to really show some composure trying to make it through the field again, because he's got a pretty good car.
Yeah, he's definitely got himself a good car tonight. Got that little bit of damage, but he's been up in that top 10 about all night long. But I tell you, kind of going back looking at it, he's coming back out here, and he's got a bit to make up. But this young man, if he can do it, still early enough. We got 70 laps still to go as Bando takes lap 40 leading that lap. So with about 70 to go, there's at least, the way these guys have been running, possibly 3 more pit stops to go. And it looks like Ben Bando is just continuing to stretch that lead out. Louis Bussa really hasn't been able to eat in any at all on that lead that Ben Bando has with that early pit strategy. So, Bando definitely went in a couple of laps earlier than what Louis Bussa done, but is paying big dividends right now as he's got about an 18-second lead.
And actually, looking back here in 4th place, he started dead last, served the drive-through. He's up there in 4th place, Brandon Lowe's in the 91. Doing a really good job. He's about a full minute behind of the leaders right now, but doesn't take away from what he's done getting from dead last to 1st under full green flag conditions.
Yeah, that's for sure. That young man has been driving the wheels off of this car and taking care of it all at the same time, and he's definitely our biggest mover tonight, that's for sure, from 27th position all the way up to 4th now. So, he's probably one of those guys right now just praying for a caution that will put him to be able to bunch back up and get that car back up front where, with the rest of those guys and be able to fight for some positions. As right now, he's got to make up about 51 seconds just to fight for another position. So it's going to be hard to do out here on the track. So, he's definitely one of those guys hoping for a caution at this point.
Yeah, he really used that last pit stop to his advantage with the way that his car is right now. He pitted a little bit earlier than most, so he's up there with about another caution. He could pick up more time and could pick up another spot ahead of Ben Britton, who's in the 3rd spot.
Yeah, and looks like we got another car heading down pit road there. It looked like it was the forward car of Dennis Wright, so he's already running down for his 2nd pit stop of the night here on lap 41. A lot of these guys are coming in a lot earlier than I thought they would have, Jacob. I was really looking to get at least probably 30 laps out of each set of tires, but a lot of these guys are coming in much earlier than that.
Yeah, like I said before, just maybe strategy or just the fact that their tires just can't go that far in some of these cars. Some people, the way that they drive road courses or the way that their setup is, they can make it that far, the full field run, but and I think the fact that most of these guys are coming in so early that it's forcing maybe some of the guys that can make it the full field run. They're coming in even earlier because they don't want to get too far behind in the case like Bussa did with Bando.
Yeah, that's a definite thing to think about right there when you're out here on the track. As looks like we've lost the 28 of Steve Deo. Looks like it may have been some engine problems on that car. He may have shifted too early or shoved it down. Got the RPMs a little too high, but looks like he lost an engine and has come down pit road there and put it behind the wall. So, that'll end the night there for Steve Deo. Looks like he'll finish in the 25th position.
Yeah, and I believe that is our 3rd DNF of the night. The other 2 was the 7 of Howard Wildrick, and dead last is the 99 of Jenkins.
Yeah, I'm hearing we got a pretty good battle going on right here with the 51, the 24, And the 91 here, of course, the 91, Brandon Lowe's, he's running 4th place right now, trying to, get his car back up towards the front around these guys. But looks like Chuck Garcia and Nick Timms here fighting for positions. Looks like they've had a pretty good battle going there, coming into that hairpin corner, as you couldn't stick a piece of paper between those two cars getting into the hairpin there in turn 11.
Yeah, they're really getting on each other here. Nick, of course, he's pitted twice. I think Chuck he's only pitted once, so Nick might have a little bit better tires than what Chuck does right now.
Yeah, I think that may be the case, and if that's the case, that Nick Timms is sitting there, trying to get around Chuck Garcia, try to get as much out of those new tires as he possibly can. As Brandon Lowe's cuts underneath him and gets by right there in the corner as we start down the S's, so he puts his car between the 24 and the 51, and looks like he's making a move on the outside there of the 51 to come around.
Yeah, Brandon has still got a good car. He'll get by these lap cars easy, but this battle for position is between these two lap cars. It's just more lap cars for Brandon.
Yeah, it looks like Brandon may be able to get a good run here coming out of turn 11 here, and maybe make up some time on Chuck and be able to get around him here pretty soon. And looks like from that point on, it's pretty clear sailing up in front of Chuck Garcia now. I don't see any cars for a while, in front of him. So if Brandon can get around Chuck Garcia, he's got some clean air up in front of him to get that car moving.
And I think if Brandon can get some clean air, I think he can run just about the same. Right now he's running just about the same lap times as 3rd place Ben Britton. I think he can get a little faster lap times out of his car as he gets by Chuck right there in the 24. He can get some faster lap times, maybe start cutting into the difference between him and the 34.
Yeah, and it looks like there is Brandon came around. Nick Timms used that as a good opportunity to get up and get around Chuck Garcia also, as they fought with it there for a couple of corners, but Nick Timms was able to get around in the end, so moves up Timms into another position there, so drops Chuck Garcia back one, so that'll put the 51 up in 14th with the 24 of Garcia in 15th, so good battle they had going there for quite some time, and looks like all 3 drivers were using their head about making their passes, so very good job. But we're going to go to a quick commercial break here. We'll be back live here on NuffWORLD TV with the Edinburg Roadrunners 350 live from Sonoma, California here in just a few moments. Y'all stay tuned.
Link engaged.
Welcome to TeamSpeak, advanced voice communication software for any platform. TeamSpeak allows groups of people to communicate and share information with anyone via the internet or through private networks. Using your Windows, Mac or Linux-based computer, all you need is a headset with microphone, and in minutes you can be chatting with others in real time using our crystal clear voice technology. As a pioneer in the industry, TeamSpeak has become one of the most recognized brands in online gaming and voice-over IP solutions. TeamSpeak features include a customizable toolbar, a clickable server icon and support for channel icons, custom graphics and VB code-enabled info panes, detailed user info and support for uploading avatars, firewall-friendly file transfer, tabbed public and private text chat with logging, custom skins, themes and sound packs, and much more.
I'm someone that's more than just a casual gamer. It's important to me to have fast, organized, quality voice comms. With TeamSpeak, I'm able to quickly customize user permissions and email a privilege key to an offline user. So the next time they log into the server, they'll be set up exactly how I want them to be. TeamSpeak also lets us do file transfers, assign player rank, insignia, upload avatars, or create custom skins. For me, there's no better choice out there than TeamSpeak.
TeamSpeak is free to use for non-commercial entities. Low-cost professional hosting is also available through our global network of authorized TeamSpeak host providers. For online gaming titles, social networks, government, military, or simulator projects, TeamSpeak also offers a software development kit. The TeamSpeak SDK allows developers to integrate our technology directly into their existing product or service. So no matter which game you're playing or with whom you wish to communicate, TeamSpeak has you covered. TeamSpeak. Flexible, powerful, crystal clear voice communication on any platform.
And welcome back here to Sonoma, California, and tonight's presentation by NuffWORLD of the Edinburg Roadrunners 350 here at Sonoma Raceway in Sonoma, California. You know, I was kind of checking out some of the things over there. I want to say a special thank you to the Edinburg Roadrunners in sponsoring tonight's race here at Sonoma, California, and also for being a partner sponsor here with NuffWORLD. Also, you know, their sponsorship means a lot. We've got a great relationship built with these guys. I was looking over some of the specials here going on for their baseball teams, you know, stationed down there in Edinburg, Texas. But, you know, if any of you are doing something, not doing anything, probably a little bit late for this tonight, but Jose Canseco is actually there at the ballpark tonight with his brother, Ozzie Canseco, who is the general manager for the team down there down in Edinburg. But I was looking at tomorrow night's special. They have for the Sunday night game, anyone coming in there with 4 cans of food to donate is getting a free ticket to the ballpark. So admission tomorrow night is only 4 cans of food, you know, to help out the local food banks in the area. So definitely providing a good community service down there, helping out those, you know, in the shelters and the food banks and such. And they've also got some the Univision radio station there in the local area is also going to be giving away some tickets down there for tomorrow night's game also. So a lot of good specials going on for tomorrow night. But these guys have a lot of talent that came through their area throughout the time. And for those of you who maybe never heard of the Edinburg Roadrunners, they're a professional baseball team based down here in Edinburg, Texas. And they're a member of the United League Baseball. They're an independent professional league, which is not affiliated with neither minor league baseball or Major League Baseball. But they've been around since 2006, and got a lot of great players that came through there. You know, also got you know, quite a few big name players down there right now. As they got several other players in the top 3 of both batting averages, ERAs, and such. So they got themselves a good team down there. And like I say, the manager right now, Ozzie Canseco, brother of Jose Canseco. So, you know, they got a good team going on down there, and they, you know, help out a lot of ball players. A lot of these guys, you know, trying to get their start, trying to get, you know, maybe started back on their career, you know, with baseball and such. So they're doing a lot of good stuff down there. Good games to catch. I know I listened to a couple of their games there. They have if you go to their actual website there, they actually broadcast their games. You can listen to them live online at RoadRunnerBall.com. I was listening to a couple of games there last week. They play some real serious ball down there. So these guys, definitely thank you to Edinburg Roadrunners for their sponsorship tonight here at Sonoma. And look forward to a partnership with them for a long-lasting relationship here between NuffWORLD and Edinburg Roadrunners. But as we go back to racing here up front, Ben Bando still continuing to lead the way, but Louis Bussa now with those tires starting to equalize has definitely started picking up the time. He's cut down about 6 seconds since we went to commercial break on Ben Bando, who's still leading this thing, but that gap is nowhere near as big as it used to be, J-Pop.
Yeah, we expected this to happen. We expected this to happen, that Bus is starting to catch him. Fresher tires. Not that many laps have gone by, but Bus has got a little bit fresher tires than Bando. Still only 10 seconds. Hasn't really gained a lot. Bando's still hanging around. He's still running really good lap times right now.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking back here at this 6th and 7th place battle right now going on between Dale Reynolds and Chris Melton. They've got a pretty fierce one there. If you remember before all the pit stops started happening, you know, they were running 3rd and 4th, you know, and 2nd, 3rd at one point. But after pit stop strategy cycled through, looks like a couple of guys kind of snuck themselves up in there. Ben Britton running third right now with Brandon Lowe's running fourth. Jeremy Enix has now moved himself up into the top 5, so Enix and Lowe's, both drivers that are on the move here tonight with only 5 cars left on the lead lap. Right now I'm showing Dale Reynolds and Chris Melton, both as 1 lap down, so you know, that fight they got going on is for the lucky dog position, and they've been going at it pretty hot and heavy. As you got the leader Ben Bando right there now behind Jeremy Enix, looking to put him a lap down. So that just goes to show you, you know, how fast these guys are making these laps and how well they're working through the field between Ben Bando and Louis Busso, especially. You know, as they're about to lap the number 5 position.
Yeah, I hate the Busher caution right now, but it's really intriguing for me to see if there is a caution, to see which any of these guys in the top 7 or so, which one really has the fastest car and is the winning car tonight, because we've got Lowe's and Enix, both these guys came from the back of the field. They never really started up with the leaders, so they could have a car for the win, but they're just way too far behind to really tell.
Yeah, when you start that far behind, it's pretty hard to make up that kind of time. I mean, they both, Enix and Lowe's, both made up a lot of time and come through the field real well, taking care of their cars the entire way. But at the same time, as looks like Lowe's may have got a little, no, that was the Kevin Kelly, excuse me, as they were going by there. But looks like, you know, these guys, Lowe's and Enix, trying to get back on track here, but both of them started so far back, it's just so hard to make up that time difference without a caution coming out. Oh, looks like the 91 got a little sideways there, got into the 29 for just a bit, opened the door for Ben Bando to get around, but Enix is able to close the door to keep from going a lap down there. So you know, definite nice job of driving there by Bando to take advantage of that, and good job of Jeremy, you know, to stay out of the way and not get tore up in that. And looked like that was about to be a major caution right there that we had all talked about, but not the one I'm sure Brandon was looking for.
Well, I think in the same sentence, Brandon has to apologize and thank Enix for that. One for Brandon getting into him there, but the other for Enix saving Brandon from going around there, because his car was just about pretty much going around off that corner, and Enix saved his car and kept it straight. Brandon lost a spot, but Enix gained a spot and also a little bit of damage from it as well.
Yeah, but like you said earlier, Jacob, you know, that damage, it really isn't going to play as big a part here as it would some other racetracks. But yeah, you're definitely right. I do believe, just looking at how that went down, if Jeremy hadn't been there, it would have definitely been at least a 90-degree or possibly a 360-degree spin right there in Brandon Lowe's part. So very interesting to see that happen right there in front of the leaders, and I'm sure Ben Bando sitting there watching that happen was, you know, definitely had his hands full there trying to figure out exactly where he wanted to go and make the right decision in that fact.
Yeah, that's a dangerous situation for the leader there, and luckily he got through there cleanly. He's fine. He might be a little shaken after seeing that in front of him, but he just kept going on. He's got no damage on his car, and he didn't really lose that much time to Bussa anyway.
Yeah, Bussa's running about 8.7 seconds behind him right now. So these guys have, even with some of this lap traffic, and just kind of goes to show you too with Lowe's and also Jeremy Enix there too with their cars. You know, even though you know, Bando was able to get around, and by the time Brendan gathered it up, stuff in that 91, he really didn't lose too much time to him. And Enix has still been able to stay right there in front of Bando, so that shows you the kind of car he's got. But just a tough break starting so far back in the field for both of those two, like we talked about. It's just hard to make that kind of time up.
Yeah, and another interesting thing is all these guys are all on different pit strategies right now. So it's just, I wonder who's going to have the least amount of pit stops, or because we could see a winner besides Bussa or Bando up here based on the pit stop strategy that some of these guys have, since they're all on different strategies.
Yeah, that's for sure. I tell you though, one of the guys I've really been kind of watching here off the scene, so to speak, but it's been impressing me quite a bit here, is that was one of our rookies, Chris Melton, back there in that 78 machine. He's currently shown in 6th, you know, just a couple of seconds right behind Dale Reynolds, one spot out of the lucky dog position. But you know, this is his first time here at Sonoma with NuffWORLD, and that young man as a rookie is really kind of showing he's a pretty good road racer, you know, and he's been able to stay. We were watching the battle between him and Dale Reynolds there a little bit earlier, you know, and seeing how these guys, you know, were fighting for that position. Now, Dale Reynolds' average finish here at Sonoma, California is a average finish in 5 races for 1.8. So he's got 3 wins here and 5 top 5s in 5 starts, does Dale Reynolds, and Melton's been able to pretty much hang with him about biggest most of the night. So, you know, I'm kind of impressed with this rookie. He's definitely got things locked down here and looking good at this road course.
Yeah, Melton, he's certainly a surprise since oh wow, Dale got really sideways out of the hairpin right in front of Melton, but keeps it straight. But yeah, it's nobody knew what Melton and Dale right now. They're both getting their laps back right now.
Yeah, but that pass just went on down there in turn 11 there in that hairpin, you know, that puts Dale Reynolds back onto the lead lap, being able to get around Bando and moving up behind Jeremy Enix now. So, you know, if Melton can get around Bando, that'll put him back on the lead lap too. And so that's going to make big, huge implications and a difference here if this thing were to get a caution flag later on. That'll put a couple more cars back on the lead lap, and like we were talking about earlier, you know, help out those guys. Because if Melton can get around Bando, get back on the lead lap, if the caution were to come out, that'd put Brandon Lowe's, as we talked about earlier, into the lucky dog position. So, you know, you'd have a lot of good running cars up there in those top 7, the only ones probably at that point on the lead lap. So it would definitely make a interesting turn of events here for this race here at Sonoma in the Edinburg Roadrunners 350.
Yeah, and with all this lap traffic trying to get by Bando, trying to get their laps back, that's allowed the second place car, Lewis Bussey, he's gained about 3 or 4 seconds while Bando's been battling with these lap cars.
Yeah, that's a very nice job there, coming out of the downhill S's into that sweeping right-hand turn there. Melton took advantage of that, stayed down the inside, was able to get underneath Bando going into turn 11, so puts him back on the lead lap. And right now, Bando is looks like his tires maybe starting to fade a little bit on him. You know, a lot of these guys are on very different pit strategies. I mean, you mentioned that a little bit earlier. So some of these guys out here have fresher tires than Bando, and some have a little bit older. So, you know, it's getting really interesting up here, though, between as Dale Reynolds and Jeremy Enix are, looks like they're trying to make moves on each other, and Reynolds is looking to the inside of Enix here, going into the left hand, going down, and looks like Reynolds may have locked the brakes up a little bit there, allows Melton to slide underneath him, takes a position away. That was a nice move right there by the 78 Chris Melton to go underneath the 27 of Dale Reynolds.
Yeah, he almost took it 3-wide right there. Dale didn't get out that corner that great. Melton took advantage, got that spot back. And now Melton, he could set up Enix here in the hairpin and try and get by him.
Yeah, it looks like Enix is trying to set him up just like he did with Bando a little bit earlier. Takes that inside away, and Enix heads down pit road. That's a surprise right there.
Yeah, we talked about the different pit cycles, so looks like Enix is on a different pit cycle than everybody else. He's going in much, much earlier.
Yeah, it looks like we got the 16 of Brian Lee heading down pit road too, but with all this action going on right in front of Ben Bando, you know, that's allowed Lewis Bussa. He's just about a second, as you can see him in the photo there now. He's right there with him, so, you know, he's not far behind. He's looking to get that lead back.
That was going to happen sooner or later, that Bussa would get back up there with Bando. It just allowed the lap traffic just was what really allowed Bussa to get back up there with Bando. Bando's still running pretty fast. It's just that this lap traffic is just slowing him down just quite a bit.
You know, and with these leaders being right behind them too, I've noticed Dale Reynolds and Chris Melton both, their lap times have been picking up the last 3 or 4 laps. They're actually closing in on Bid Britton, who's only about 5 seconds or so in front of these two, you know, running up there in 3rd place. So, you know, they may be looking to try to take some positions away before very long, as well as trying to stay on the lead lap now. So, definitely we're starting to turn an interesting turn of events here. Some of these guys have been pushing it a little bit harder, and I'm telling you, it looks like Melton and Reynolds both have started picking up their lap times. You see a lot of smoke. Whoa, looks like Chris Melton about overshot that corner, locked the brakes up, had to kind of slide it through there.
Yeah, both of them, you could see with that tire smoke, they're going at 100 miles an hour right now. They're really fast lap times going around this track, faster than the leaders right now. whether that's because that's just how their cars are, they have fresher tires, or they are certainly fast, and they'll be catching Ben Britton here anytime soon.
Yeah, and I kind of noticed him back there lurking right behind that 33 is the number 3. There's one car separating them there, Dominic LaRusso. And if I'm Dom, I'm not sure if that's a position I want to be in between those two when they're fighting for the lead. But you know, that's one of the things. It's about just a little over a 1 second gap right now between Bando and Bussa. So Bussa has definitely made up about a 15 seconds on Bando here, and it looks like he's not going to be too much longer. They're going to be fighting for a lead here again.
Yeah, Bando, he decides to let the 48 of Dom LaRusso go by, and that's just allowed Bussa right on his back bumper here, and see if Bussa can set Bando up for a pass here.
Yeah, Bando is definitely, he's been out there he's got quite a few laps. There goes the 34, Ben Britton down pit road too, so he's going to give up that 3rd place position. That'll move Melton up into 3rd and Reynolds into 4th. But, you know, these two are, you know, there's Louis Bussa going right around Bando. So, you know, we got Louis Bussa back up front. It's been the number 3, biggest most of the first part of this race. And 33 after that first pit cycle, Ben Bando. But Louis Bussa, as it cycles through, is back out front again. So, you know, let's see if Louis Bussa is able to open up a gap like he did earlier. So the different pit strategies are definitely putting these two in 2 different positions altogether as far as laps led and who may end up winning this race, because right now, unless there's a caution falls, these two are definite class of the fields to watch.
Yeah, I think somewhere between lap 65 and 75 we might see these top 2 leaders go into pit road. As for everyone else, I have no idea with all the different pit cycles, but it's gonna get real good real fast.
It'll be interesting to see too, because we already know Bando is most likely going to pit before Louis Bussa does, because the fact he's been out there on those tires longer right now. But it's going to be interesting to see if Bussa kind of takes a trick from Bando here, and once he sees him head down pit road, go down with him, put themselves on the same pit strategy now, as it's pretty much came down to a 2-car race. Then the 2 of these may, you know, that might be something to look at, see whether Louis Bussa goes in with Bando this time.
Yeah, and if Bando does go in a little bit earlier, and if they stay about a 5-lap difference from when they pitted between each other, Bando pitted about 5 laps before. If that happens again, the spot that Bando's in right now, he's less than a second behind Louis right now, so that could be even more time that Bando gains if they stay at the same lap differential when they pit.
Yeah, it's definitely, the pit strategy is going to be something I think is going to play out by the time this is all over with, because there's just too many cars still out there running with so far, no cautions throughout this race, which kind of surprises me. I was figured to see a few, you know, double cars and a few guys, some pretty good scrapes here, but these guys have been able to keep this thing green the entire time, and I think most of them take care of their cars, as we've only got 3 cars out at this point, being Steve Deo, the 28, the 7 of Howard Wildrick, and the 99 of Dennis Jenkins. So most of these guys have been able to take care of their cars tonight and had a lot of good racing going on out here. And, you know, it's all going to come down to strategy, it looks like, tonight.
Yeah, there's not been that many cars that have really self-spun than I thought, but the ones that have, they haven't really hit anything. They've just gone spinning in the dirt and got right back out on the track, only losing a few positions.
Yeah, I'm showing the 83 there. Looks like he lost it going up into turn 3 there. Spun it right there on the track. Was able to get it back off the track, drop down into first gear there, kind of pick it back up and get back on the track. But definitely that 83 machine of Timmy St. Jean is not, this road course has not been good to him tonight. He's another one of those drivers that was looking for, you know, something special out of it. Oh, looks like the 88 got a little, I don't know what happened there. Looks like he was right in front of Don LaRusso, and it looks like he just locked the brakes up pretty good at the turn up there at the top of the hill and drove it right off into that overshoot area. So Wilson had a close call there also.
Yeah, and I think the 03 of Bruce Turner had a problem there. It set him real far behind. He's sitting there 2 laps down. He was running in the top 10.
Yeah, it looks like Turner had a drive-through a little bit earlier there for speeding on pit road, and that's what's put him in the position he's in. Him and Vasquez both had the exact same thing happen, both of them speeding down pit road. Vasquez, in the number 8, has been able to, rebound and get up to the 10th place position, but he's also showing 2 laps down. So right now we only have 4 cars still left on the lead lap, which is interesting at this point in the race.
Yeah, we could see that change a little bit with the leaders pit, but as for right now, we only have 4 cars in the lead lap, and both these 4 cars have really raced well. But even third and fourth place, they're just in front of the leaders. They're not that far ahead.
Yeah, and we're starting to see a lot of cars starting to come down pit road again too. So like I say, with all these different pit cycles we've seen everybody on tonight, it's getting real interesting, as we just saw the number 12, Terry Hinkle head down pit road. But also Ben Bando has been able to stay with Lewis Bussa since Bussa got around him here, as both of them really haven't had much traffic to contend with now. But if Bando is able to continue on this strategy he's on, pit before Bussa, and being able to keep with him right here at this point, that might be something that'll be the one thing that keeps him up there tonight. As I'm seeing Timmy St. Jean just took a hard left down there into the garage area on pit road, so it looks like he's got some damage tonight and isn't going to be able to compete any further. So he'll be our 4th car to go behind pit wall tonight. So unfortunate turn of events for that number 83 of Timmy St. Jean, who's been putting together a pretty good season so far this year.
Yeah, it seemed like he was just having trouble all night, and he just couldn't really take it anymore, and just couldn't finish his race out, which is unfortunate for Timmy. And that's only our 4th DNF of the race tonight.
Yeah, and as that's going on, I'm hearing team communications over radio there. Looks like the 24 of Chuck Garcia is heading down pit road now to get things kind of taken care of on that car too. So a lot of these guys, it's going to be interesting to see if they try to short pit after this, or if they try to run those tires and fuel as much as they can to, and then make it there at the end, because with less than 50 laps to go now, I mean, this is realistically, if you're pitting right now, you could make it easily on one pit stop from here, and, possibility of even going down pit road, not taking tires, which, who knows, and just fuel only, and making it the last 10 as, looked like Bendo got real sideways right there coming off of that long sweeping turn 10. So looks like those tires may be a little hot on the rear of the 33 machine also.
Yeah, that's a great save, but that's unfortunately going to cost him. Looks like it cost him about almost 2 seconds there. But luckily he saved it. He kept the thing straight. That's going to heat up his tires a lot, so he has to cool those down until his next pit stop, which may only be about 5 laps away.
Yeah, that's definite. Bando's sitting there in that car right now, already plotting and planning as far as his pit stop strategy and stuff. So at this point, it's one of those things. You've got to be able to keep Bussa pretty much in sight, knowing you were able to. With Bussa was about 30 seconds ahead of him when he made his pit stop after all that was, and Bando wound up with a 15-second lead after the pit stop. So you got to factor that stuff in. Bando's already starting to sit there and think, and he's, using what his car's got right now, looking at how many laps he's got on those tires and how it's going to act at that point. So, he's starting to strategize and think about that stuff already in the cockpit of that 33.
Yeah, I think for Bando here, just about for anybody who pits after lap 70, they will certainly have enough fuel to make it to the end. So if that's Bando's strategy, he's going to have, he just wants to make sure it's going to be tough to keep Bussa in sight and have that pit window at the same time. But it's just something that he is probably going to have to do here if a caution doesn't come out.
Yeah, and at this point, if you're Bando's position, you've got to keep yourself there, whether you like these tires or not right now, and at least get inside the fuel window that the car will still be competitive and be able to make it to the end. And right now, like I say, he lost about another second right there that lap to Lewis Bussa. So, he's going through a lot of strategies and scenarios in his head, talking to his crew chief and such right now, too. But yeah, like I say, Lewis Bussa is continuing. Like I say, he led those first the entire way through that first pit cycle. Then turned it over to Ben Bando, who got the lead back from here just a few laps back, and has moved on up. He's got about a 4.3 second lead right now, running right in front of the Dale Reynolds machines. Who Dale Reynolds currently running in fourth there, but showing a lap down, but. Only 3 cars on the lead lap, and I'm showing the 78 of Chris Melton has moved up into third, but he's not far in front of Lewis Bussa right now. As I'm hearing the 29 machine of Jeremy Enix may have looped it around there.
Yeah, and looks like we got the 27 of Dale Reynolds. He's going down pit road, but the 29 of Jeremy Enox, that's also unfortunate right there. He just got around and. He couldn't really do anything about that spin. That's he was having a great run moving through the field, but now he's going to have to make even more spots up.
Yeah, it looks like he just come up the top of the hill there, and as he's coming across that little apex, got back to the throttle maybe a little too soon, and those tires just weren't hooked up and come right around on him. So, unfortunate for Jeremy Enix, as that drops him back to the 7th place position. So, him and Brandon Lowe's both running 6th and 7th right now. Those two, we've talked about them pretty much a lot of the night. Those two have started so far, so deep into the field. So, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, but they could just all they needed was one caution, because they both have fast cars. They've started so far back that they've made up far on just speed alone, and then they've also used a little bit of pit strategy to get up there, which could really hurt them in terms of trying to get up to the leaders. They can't really get up there since the different pit cycle that they're on. So if you really need one caution out there, maybe put them back on the lead lap, and they could really be contenders in this.
Yeah, that's a good point right there. I mean, these two started so far back, and it's hard to make that time up. We've contested to that all night. But looking up here from the front right now at Lewis Bussa, he is right behind that 78 Chris Melton now. So, Chris Melton, this rookie's out here running in 3rd position right now. Got to be feeling good about yourself running in 3rd, your first time at Sonoma, but at the same time, it's intimidating to look up in that rear view mirror and see that big green number 3 coming right at you there of Lewis Bussa. So, he's got to be careful here not to get overexcited or spin the tires or make a mistake, because he's having himself a good run tonight. He's got to continue to take care of that car.
Yeah, Melton's doing a really good job of keeping in front of the fastest car on the racetrack all night. He's hanging there, so if a caution comes out, he's back there on the lead lap. But if he can hang out there until his next pit stop, he'll be sitting in good position to stay on that lead lap in case caution does come out.
Yeah, another good move the way he set up, coming off of turn 10 right there, set up to get underneath the 12 car of Jerry Hinkle, getting down into turn 11. So makes the pass on Hinkle, gets a little bit of breathing room as Lewis Bussa now is making his way around Jerry Hinkle. So he was able to put a little bit of distance between himself and Lewis Bussa right there, but I don't think that's going to last too long. But as they head up the hill, turns 1, 2, and 3 here, it's very interesting to see how Lewis Bussa and Ben Bando's strategy is going to pay off on the pits tonight, because that's going to be, I think, what it comes down to between these two all night. But like I say, Chris Melton, that's that young man. Like I say, he's a definite dark horse. If there is a caution that comes out later on in this race, it's going to be interesting to see how things will pan out. You got Ben Britton right now in the 34 running in 4th place. He's the lucky dog position, but you might have a few take a couple of waiver rounds, kind of take that chance, so to speak, to see what they've got, what they can do at the end. So definitely would be a definite game changer if a caution comes out at this late stage of the race with about 40 laps to go. So realistically, there's only about a pit cycle left here in this race.
And another guy to keep a watchful eye on is Ben Britton. He's been in the top 5 all day. He's right now, he'll be the lucky dog if a caution does come out, and we know he can make it pretty far in field, so he'll have one more pit stop to go when he pits next inside 70 laps. So he could, if a caution does come out, he'll be the lucky dog. and he could be a player in the end here if he gets a few things to go his way.
Yeah, Ben is definitely, he's been not the strongest run he's ever had, but he's been steadily right there in the top 5 all night long, you know, and putting himself together a good run, doing exactly what he's got to do to make up some points on Brian Lee, and you know, in the ongoing points championship. As Brian Lee currently right now is running in 12th place, so that's a lot of points he will be able to make up if the race were to finish right now. So Ben's doing exactly what he's got to do, going out there and having himself a steady run, staying up in the top 5 tonight, and making up some points on the first place position of Brian Lee. So running a very smart race tonight. But, you know, some of the guys back here, you know, kind of looking back through the field a little bit, some of the guys we really haven't spoke about, like the 20th place position of number 30 of Kevin Kelly. You know, that's the first time I think we haven't mentioned his name really all night long. He's been pretty quiet and definitely not having the run you expect to see out of Kevin Kelly here at Infineon. You know, he's usually, this isn't his favorite track, but he's usually up there, you know, in the top 10 most times at this point of the race. But, you know, one of those guys, like I said, we really haven't spoke a whole lot about tonight, as well as, you know, the number 4 of Dennis Wright, a couple positions behind him there in the 22nd position. Definitely, Dennis is, he just doesn't, you know, heard some radio chatter there a little while ago. He just doesn't feel like this car is suited for this track. He's definitely not happy with how the car is ran tonight. He's had his hands full. So unfortunate break for Dennis Wright there from Smoke Racing, you know, as he's not had the car he wanted tonight here at Sonoma.
It's always just a tough thing when you know you can get around this course good, but when you don't just quite have the setup right for the track, it's always difficult, because you will struggle if you don't have the right setup in the car, no matter how good you are at a certain track. The setup plays a really, really key role into it.
Yeah, and just noticing, looking to 91 there, he got a little too hot into one of the corners there, slid it off pretty good. Looks like he may have taken a good bang over into the corner there, unfortunately for him. But looks like he's got a tire down now, and going to have to limp that car all the way back to pit road. So unfortunate series of events just happened there for Brandon Lowe's in that number 91 machine, who we've been talking about has been coming up through the field all night long steadily, you know, making up the most points or most positions all night at one point. You know, he's had himself a good car all night. Just got stuck behind the 8 ball there at the beginning, and now he's got to kind of limp it down there.
Yeah, it looks like Brandon, he was trying to make too much happen there. It looks like Doc Stout, he got in the dirt a little bit. It really slowed in front of Brandon. Brandon made an evasive maneuver, and then he really overbraked in the corner, and his car the back end just went around on him. And that's just an unfortunate break there. And looks like Brandon tapped the wall there as well.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. One of those places you definitely don't want the brakes locking up while you're trying to make a evasive maneuver, because that turn, like we alluded to earlier in the race, you know, it's got that bump on the inside and it's got that bump on the outside. You know, that can unsettle your car enough by itself, much less be, you know, under heavy braking and got the brakes locked up. And there, unfortunately, wasn't a whole lot he could do in that. Once he got that bump and had the brakes locked up, it was he was kind of holding on for the ride from that point.
Yeah, and it looks like Brandon, after that spin, he's in pit road. And also, second place car, talking about that pit strategy, is Ben Bando. He's coming into pit road now for what probably could most likely be his last stop of the day.
Yeah, I would gather this to be his last one of the day right here. If he comes down pit road this lap, you know, as he's coming down the S's here, this should pretty much be it here. So. But yeah, like I say, that with that pit strategy right there, looks like I'm being told Bendo may have a drive-through also. So that's a very unfortunate series of events for Ben Bando. Looks like he's coming down pit road again to serve that drive-through penalty. He got caught speeding on pit road. So that's a backbreaker right there for Ben Bando. I don't think there's going to be any way he's going to be able to make up that kind of ground now on Louis Bussa.
Yeah, it's just, now for him, it's just praying for a caution after that. That's really tough when you're running that good. You have that good of a car in position to win, and something gets you like a speeding penalty. It's just always the worst feeling in the world.
And with that happening, I'm seeing Lewis buses coming through the turn 11 hairpin right now and coming up to the start-finish line. So, you know, if he doesn't lap Ben Bando here, he's going to be right behind him. So, and he does. He laps him right there. So that'll put Chris Melton up into the second place position now, running right in front of Lewis Bussa, with third place running right behind. So you got the top three right there all together, but in a weird scenario of second, first, third, rather than first, second, third. So, you know, definite change of events right there that did not see coming here as Ben Bando's trying to get back on the lead lap, going under Lewis Bussa now.
Yeah, Bando, he has fresher tires than both these guys. He'll get by both of these guys. He'll get back second place, and he'll hopefully be able to salvage. If this thing does stay green, he'll be battling for second place with Melton rather than first with Lewis. But he's just he just needs a caution right now. That's the only thing he can have and hope for.
Yeah, and those fresher tires are definitely showing right there as Bando was able to just motor around Chris Melton there in the S's on the outside of the turn. So just shows you what a difference those fresh tires will make here. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see when Melton, though, will pit now, because he's got a good, solid third-place run going on. He's the last car left on the lead lap, but, you know, he's right there in front of Lewis Bussa, so he may you know, try to stay out there as long as he can, try to stay on that lead lap to pit after Bussa does, you know, in order to stay on the lead lap. So it's going to be interesting to see how long he'll decide to stay out there. But, you know, some of these guys now, looking at Ben Bando, you know, he's definitely, unfortunately, had that series of events there on pit road. I hate to see that happen to this young man, as he's had a good, flawless race pretty much all night, but he's definitely making his way through the field. He's charging through like a man on a mission now. After passing Chris Melton, he's already passed two more cars and heading down that long S's in the downhill section now. You know, he's definitely got a high rate of speed going on, but he's about a minute and 15 seconds behind, so he's got a long way to go on this one. So it'll be interesting to see now. That definitely takes a lot off of Lewis Bussa's plate as far as the pit stop goes, because he can have a slow pit stop now and still maintain that pretty comfortable lead in first place. So that's got to be a little bit of a relief for Lewis Bussa.
Really only the pressure on Bussa has is just really don't mess up big time. He can get off the track a little. He's in pit road now. As long as he doesn't speed, doesn't spin out, he'll be fine. Yeah, exactly. You know, and that'll be interesting just to make sure, you know, keep that car underneath you and take your time. Make sure no mess ups from here on out. And just like I kind of alluded to earlier, I'm looking here at Chris Melton still out on the track here in third position. So, you know, that puts him, you know, he's about 5 seconds now in front of fourth place of Ben Britton, who's been able to also get back on the lead lap with Bussa going into pits too. So it'll be interesting to see just how much longer that Chris Melton will decide to stay out here on these tires now, knowing that the leader has already went in. So he's been able to get that little bit of a breathing room there. But now I think if I'm Chris Melton, it's time to get in the pits, get some tires on this car so I can maintain the run I've got going. Yeah, Melton has a good top 5 car. He's really Melton is just, he's also hoping for a caution to get back up there with leaders, because he does have a good car that can contend with these leaders.
Yep, with that pit stop strategy though, and everything that's went down now, we got 6 back on the lead lap now. You know, to include the number 29 of Jeremy Enix. So, you know, you saw him a little bit earlier, had that one little spin at the top of the hill, and then that close call with Brandon Lowes in the 91. He's currently running in 6th place with Ben Britton running up in 5th, and snuck in on us there somehow. I haven't been watching this young man for a little bit, but number 27 of Dale Reynolds, he's moved himself back up into the 4th place position now. It's been a little while since we talked about Dale Reynolds, you know, up there in that top 5 after he had that one incident earlier in the race. But he's worked himself back up into the 4th place position, excuse me, you know, right ahead of Ben Britton now. But as these pit cycles have kind of went on throughout the night, we've seen a mix of a little bit of everything, and I'm being told that the 48 of Dominic LaRusso, who just came out of pit road not long ago, also got caught speeding on pit road, so he's going to be serving a drive-through. And this young man who was having a real good run there a little bit earlier, unfortunately is starting to go a little south to the other end for him, currently running in 13th position, 2 laps down now, but coming down pit road to serve that penalty. So a lot of the guys we might have thought during pre-race we'd see a lot more of up here in the front, we really haven't seen so far tonight. So it's pretty much been Ben Bando and Louis Bussa the entire way.
Yeah, these two, they were just as dominant on Thursday as they are tonight. And really not much of a surprise that they are, but it's just it just takes away from everybody else. Nobody can really do anything else about it except if they hope for a caution, they can. Some of these guys that are on the lead lap can get back up there and maybe contend, because some of these guys, they do have fast cars. It's just they can't do anything when they're about a minute behind, and when Buss and Beno have lapped the whole field.
Yeah, that's a definite for truth there. But let's say Bando and Louis Bussa, definitely started up towards the front and kept their cars there all night, while others have had to struggle and fight, such as Jeremy Enix and Brandon Lowe's. I mean, I tip my hat to both of those guys. They've worked, they've drove the track, they've drove the competition. They both drove very well tonight, but unfortunately, neither one of them have been able to overcome that obstacle starting so far back, as Chris Melton has made his what should be his final pit stop now. So, that should have been his final with 77 laps completed now, going up to 78. Less than just a little over 30 laps to go. That should be Melton's final pit stop. So it's going to be interesting to see if anyone else decides to go in, get tires, get fuel, whatever, before this is all over with. And I think most of them should be able to make it from this point on fuel.
Yeah, I think there's a few that'll actually be close. I think Bando, he might be close, and Bando and Bussa, they may be a little close. Bussa's a little closer than what Ben is right now. But as for Melton, Melton should be good to go as long as he keeps those tires good the rest of the way.
Yeah, and I think, let's see, looking in front of Chris Melton there, you got the 5th place, it is Jeremy Enix, and 4th of Ben Britton, and then 3rd now is Dale Reynolds in that 27 machine. So this might work out in favor of Chris Melton before it's all over with, having these much fresher tires. He's probably going to be able to make a little better lap times, and if these guys do have to pit for any reason, then he's definitely going to be able to, I think, make up those positions. So Chris Melton, young rookie out here, having himself a real good run tonight. Can't say enough about how well that rookie has ran tonight. He showed that he's a good road course racer here tonight.
Yeah, and it's just, like I said again, it's just unfortunate for some of these guys that have good cars that really can't do anything about the leaders because they're just so far behind. But it doesn't take away from what some of these guys are doing. Just that are good road course racers out here. It's a tough track to get around for 110 laps.
Yeah, it is a tough track out here, but kind of looking here at the gap between our leader and 2nd place Ben Bando, it's about roughly 17 seconds right now. So it's about what it was, earlier in the race when Bussa had to chase down Bando. So it's going to be interesting to see if Bando can return that same favor and chase down Louis Bussa here towards the end. But it's going to be a hard obstacle to overcome, because Louis Bussa has remained very steady throughout the night. So we'll see how this thing turns out at the end.
Yeah, they're pretty much even the entire run until about 5 laps left in the run. Bussa really starts to gap Bando for whatever reason. It's just the way that it is when it comes down to the end of the run. But if Bando could get a caution here, like everybody is wishing, Bando could get Bussa on the short run. But if it came down to a real long run that came right down to the end, I think Bussa might have Bando there.
Yeah, it's going to be definite. That's going to be the whole game changer altogether if it were to happen. If we get a caution here in the late stage of these races, that could be the altogether game changer. I'm being told, being told that the 03 of Bruce Turner may have went around down there in the S. Is kind of something to maybe take a look at, but not for sure on that. But it looks like, got it up here on the screen, looks like he may have looped it around there coming down the S's. So, unfortunate series of events again here. It looks like he just couldn't get that car.
Are you looking to start your own professional internet radio station the easy way? Sam Vibe was specifically designed for you. From the makers of Sam Broadcaster, Sam Vibe takes advantage of the cloud to let you focus on what is important: managing and running your station. There are 5 simple steps to get started with Sam Vibe. 1. Sign up for a free account at NuffWORLD.com. No credit card information is required to get a free account. 2. Download and install Sam Vibe. 3. Check your email to retrieve your account information and login details. 4. Run Sam Vibe and enter your username and password. 5. The Sam Vibe Quick Start Wizard shows you the first steps to start your station. Simply upload your music, turn on your station, and tune in. Too easy? Don't worry, Sam Vibe caters for the needs of both novice and professional broadcasters. Sound exciting? Give it a try. Sign up for free now at SamVibe.com to experience how broadcasting should be.
Who's currently still running second, but he has made up a little bit of time since we went down on Lewis Bussa. Currently running about 10.9 seconds behind Lewis Bussa. So, Ben Bando is driving the wheels off of this car, trying to get the most out of this run that he possibly can. To get up there behind the number 3 machine and try to make a try to get a chance to even fight for the win here before it's all over with tonight.
Yeah, Bando's doing a good job. Buses encountered some lap traffic. He's starting to lose a little time, but Bando, he's still got a fast car in there. He's got no damage. He just had a drive-through, so he's making up that time. And I wonder if Bando can make it the rest of the way on fuel, and if he can, maybe he's saving a little bit more than Buses, so that'll be interesting to see if this thing does stay green to the end.
When I was dropped down while we were on a little bit of break there, spoke with Lewis Bussa for just a second. He's informed me that he is definitely, at his angle, he's good on fuel and tires to the end, so we shouldn't see him on the pit road again. So I would kind of assume about the same with Ben Bando at this point, being as there's only a couple of laps between their pit stops, and like I say, most of these two guys usually run very similar race setups and race cars, so they're probably running about the same gearing. So I would say both of these guys should very well make it to the end. Bando might be a little closer than Bussa, but I've been informed by Lewis Bussa that he has no issues with fuel or tires at this point. He will easily make it to the end.
And that's something that a lot of people don't want to hear, but it's just the way it is, and they're just all hoping for a caution right now. But that's the last thing Bussa wants at the moment. Is he's clearly the fastest car all day, fastest car on the racetrack right now.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking back here at that 78 of Chris Melton, young rookie we've talked about quite a bit tonight. He's closing up on Lewis Bussa right now. Next car in line behind him, man. If he can get up there, get around Lewis Bussa, put himself back on the lead lap, he's just a few seconds behind Jeremy Enix there. So, you know, he might be contending with the fourth place position here, Jeremy Enix, before this one's all over with about 25 laps or so to go here. So, you know, this young man, well, he just got around Enix as Enix has just hit pit road. So, moved Melton up a position to fourth position. So, you know, he's got a chance putting himself back on the lead lap here if he can get around Louis Bussa. And if the caution were to fall, you know, he may end up with a top 3 before this is all over with. So good run tonight for Chris Melton.
Yeah, Melton, he's in good position right now. He has fresher tires than both Dale Reynolds and Louis Bussa. Dale he's way ahead of Chris Melton right now, but Melton he can't get by Bussa here since he has the fresher tires, and I think if that does happen and that caution comes out, Melton's right there on the restart. On the lead lap right behind the leaders.
Yeah, Melton, like I say, has had himself a good run for this young rookie here tonight. So, you know, quite a few of our rookies having pretty good runs tonight. You know, some we may even not talk too much about. Running back in the number 12 position right now, the 87 of Kevin Kelly Jr., you know, his first time here at Sonoma, California at the Sonoma Raceway also. You know, currently being shown 3 laps down, but with the way this race is going for a young rookie like Kevin Kelly Jr., only be 3 laps down and running in 12th place at this late stage of the race, you know, you can't hope for a whole lot more out of a young rookie than that. He's having a good run, put together a solid run, stayed out of trouble all night, done what he's had to do, logged quite a few laps and learned a lot. So, you know, that's going to be a definite boost for that young man, you know, in these road course races.
Yeah, he may be 3 laps down, but he's done a good job. It's just the pace that the leaders are setting, and these guys just really can't keep up with. But that doesn't take away from what he's done. He's done a good job. Done a good job all night, and he's a good experience for him tonight. And he's just getting better every week.
And to kind of update while we were away on that last little break there, the number 4 car of Dennis Wright, he's taking his behind the wall. That car's just been an ill handling car all night, just too much to deal with, and you know, he's taking it behind the wall and parked it back there. You know, he's done for the night also. That'll put him finishing in the 23rd position. Unfortunate run for Smoke Racing Inc. and Dennis Wright tonight, but you know, talked to him a little bit earlier. He said that car was just it was too much to handle. The setup just wasn't there for it.
Yeah, and that's sometimes that just happens. Some days it's just the setup just doesn't match up with the track, and there's really nothing you can do except try and ride. And some guys, they can't do anything about it. That's unfortunate for him, and that's still only the 5th car that is DNF tonight.
Yeah, which is for Sonoma, that's very interesting. You know, only 5 DNFs tonight. It's a real good count. As Ben Bando is heading down pit road now. Not quite sure what's going on there. He may have some issues with that car. I don't think he would need fuel or tires at this point in the race. Being, you know, as he was running down, it hasn't been that long ago that he was in here. So we'll have to check on that, see what's going on.
I think Bando, he may be looking at this from a tire standpoint. Or fuel, possibly. I think he's mostly thinking about tires right now. That I think their fuel could make it. I'm not sure if their fuel could make it, but if it could, he's going from this on a tire standpoint, because tires they do not match up with the fuel on this track. So that's why you're seeing such different pit cycles. So that's real interesting to watch here.
Yeah, well, I'm being told here, pit road reporters, I guess they may be running very similar setups. So it kind of makes me wonder if Louis Bussa might be a little closer than he's telling us originally. But the 33 of Ben Bando was not going to be able to make it on fuel. So, you know, he was outside of his window. That's why he pitted right there. It was kind of a scheduled stop for him. So Louis Bussa might be a little closer on fuel at the end of this race than what he originally had let us know there. So it could be an interesting turn of events before this is all over with.
Well, it's either going to play out bad for Bando or good for him. It's going to go like either way. If Bussa, if he can't make it, then that allows Banda, with the fresher tires and the time that he's gained, he'll get by Bussa. But if Bussa can make it, then Bando can't really do anything about it.
Right, you are there, Jacob. But you know, Bando this time gets on pit road good, gets off pit road good. You know, he only lost about 40 seconds there on that pit stop, so he's able to do well with that. But you know, like I say, Bando's got a lot of ground to make up. So we got a car in the middle of the track right there as Bando's coming up over the hill. So got real interesting there for Bando for a couple of seconds. Couldn't really tell the number on that car, but spun right in front of both Dale Reynolds and Ben Bando. Had to make some evasive maneuvers there. So you know, very interesting turn of events there. Could have been deadly catastrophe there.
Yeah, and that car in the middle of the track was the 91 of Brandon Lowe's. He just got around there, and it looks like he just gassed it a little too hard, and the car just went around. And just nothing he could really do about it. But he got no damage. He stayed, didn't get in contact with any cars really. So looks like he'll be fine, and he keeps going. It's just see if from where he stands on a tire standpoint now after that spin.
Yeah, that'll be the interesting one here is the tire standpoint on that. Unfortunately, he went around there, which is going to heat those tires up. So he might have to run a little, not as quickly over the next couple of laps. Kind of let them things cool down for a little bit, and then be able to get back on it. So as we see, Dale Reynolds in the number 27 heading down pit road now, currently running in 3rd place. So you know, it'll be interesting to see. That'll probably put him a lap down and move Chris Melton up into 3rd by the time the pit cycle finishes. So the big guy, I'd say right now to look at will be Louis Bussa, on whether he's, you know, giving us the full story on the fact that he can make it on fuel and tires, or whether he's, you know, banking on having to get in one more time.
Yeah, it's just a waiting game now for us, and so we can't tell what's going on in that car. We just have to wait and see.
Yeah, because he's got himself a very comfortable gap right now. I mean, 51 seconds between him and, you know, Bam Bando back there in 2nd place. And, I mean, even if it comes to the fact now that Louis Bussa may be a little close, if he is, then he's still got just about enough room to get into pits, drop some fuel in it, and get back out. So, you know, and then it would make for a very interesting finish here at the end with Bando. So, as we saw at Dover, you know, Bando was able to use pit strategy on Louis Bussa and come home with the win. So it might turn into another scenario such as that here tonight by the time it's all over with.
Yeah, it's if Bussa can make it, if he feels confident, he'll be, I think, with about 10 laps to go. If he doesn't pit with before 10 laps, I think Bussa will be able to make it, because I don't think if he's not able to make it, I don't think he'd risk staying out this long and losing all that time to Bando, where Bando would get right by him and Bussa would have no time to make up that time.
Yeah, that's for sure. You know, and getting to the late stages now, it's starting to come into the time where, you know, it's time to make those decisions too. I mean, we got what, 16 laps I'm showing here as Bussa came across the stripe that time. So Bussa really in command, having a very comfortable lead right now, 49 seconds. So he's got an opportunity too here to kind of take it easy and save a little fuel if he needs to. So, you know, he can continue running about the pace he's at now and should still be all right. But, you know, a lot of other cars out here may be in the same boat Bando was, not going to be able to make it, because there was cars that went down pit road before Bando, and they still haven't came in. So we might see a lot more cars on pit road before this is all over with.
Yeah, it's just that pit cycle thing. It's just how it plays out. Some of these guys were probably hoping for cautions, and they just didn't get them. So it's just the way it plays out sometimes, and it plays out in people's favor sometimes, and others it goes completely the opposite direction.
That's for sure. But either way, I mean, we've had a lot of good racing here tonight. It's been all strategy so far. But looking back here a little bit, the number 27 of Dale Reynolds currently being shown in the 5th place position after making that pit stop is back out on the track looking to make up some time now. You know, is currently running 5th, but he's got a large gap to make up to get to the 4th place position of Ben Britton, who's about 6-7 seconds in front of him right now. So you know, Dale Reynolds is definitely hoping, you know, this thing, Bussa may have to pit again to have a chance to get back on that lead lap and make a run to the end too. So he was one of those cars we talked about earlier as being one of the odds-on favorites, but has definitely not had to run here. You know, he had expected, or we had expected either, as he's been, you know, pretty much buried back in, you know, well, mired back there in some lap traffic most of the night, and didn't really get the good start on the green flag that, you know, Louis Bussa and Ben Bando were able to get.
And back in third spot, the 34 of Ben Britton gets by the 78 of Milton there. So that's an important spot, because if a caution does come out, that's the lucky dog position. So that is an important spot for Milton to keep if he is able to.
You know, Jacob, that's an interesting statement you just made right there, too. If you'd have told me before we dropped the green flag here that we would be down to 15 laps to go and third place would be the lucky dog position, I would have straight up told you were crazy. But that is the fact here. We've kept this thing green for 95 laps here at Sonoma, which is, you know, a definite good job of these drivers out here tonight. I mean, awesome job. I mean, keeping it green here at Sonoma for 95 laps is a lot to ask out of guys.
It's a great accomplishment for the drivers, but a lot of them really probably aren't that happy with it going green this far. Them not be able to make any adjustments under caution, or not be able to get back up to the leaders.
Yeah, because that is definitely probably thrown, because I'm sure there's some drivers out here that were banking on at least a couple of cautions here tonight, you know, and being able to take advantage of some of that, but just hasn't been the case, you know, like we talked about earlier with Jeremy Enix and Brandon Lowe's. I'm sure those two were probably banking on being at least a caution or two, you know, to be able to help them out and help their cause here tonight, but this thing staying green like that has definitely not been a good friend to them. So as I see, it looks like we've got one around there, the 87. Looks like the 87 there of, you know, Kevin Kelly Jr. sitting in the hairpin there in turn 11, waiting on traffic to clear so he can get back out on the track. Or correction, that's Doc Stout, the 62. That's a tough position to be in right there, too, sitting in a hairpin with cars coming, just having to sit there and wait on cars to get by before you can get back out.
Yeah, that's a tight corner that you really can't. If you force your way on there, you're gonna run into somebody. So you have to really wait for a gap between cars there. So that could that just cost you a lot of time.
Yeah, it looks like he just got down in there, and oh, looks like Kevin Kelly, as he came in there too, was trying to miss the Doc Stout machine. Saw him spinning there, kind of locked it up a little too much, and didn't make the corner himself, and went into the outside barrier there once he passed Doc Stout too, and you know, done some significant damage on that number 30 Yoo-Hoo machine of Kevin Kelly too. But out of the way, he's back out there running right in front of the leader, Louis Bussa, right now, in danger of going another lap down. But you know, wow, what a interesting turn of events there for Kevin Kelly, just out of the blue.
Yeah, it's just that chain reaction effect that sometimes you get if especially in the hairpin here, if a guy goes around, some guy behind him may mess up, or it's just the way it happens sometimes.
I'm sitting here kind of looking at the 34 of Ben Britton. We talked about him a little bit earlier. He's only a couple of cars now behind leader Louis Bussa, so he's working his way back up towards getting onto the lead lap. So looks like Bussa may be kind of slowing things down maybe a little bit here, you know, trying to possibly conserve some fuel, as I'm seeing Bando starting to eat away a little bit into that lead too. So, you know, Lewis may be taking it a little easy here, trying to conserve some.
Yeah, with Bando being 40 seconds behind, I don't see him catching Bussa unless it's a huge mistake by Bussa, or Bando just turns a jet on in the back of his car, which makes him gain about 5-10 seconds a lap. But if he's able to get by Bussa here, that's big for Melton. I'm sorry, that's big for Dale Reynolds. Dale Reynolds has now moved up in the 4th spot, because that puts Britton back on the lead lap, and that makes Dale the lucky dog.
Yeah, as they were coming down through the S's there, Reynolds was able to get around to 78 of Chris Melton, as Reynolds gets a little sideways there up off the corner of turn 11 there. Great job recovering that car, keeping it from spinning, but Reynolds is able to move himself up into the 4th place position, and he looks like he's got a good car still under him, moving forward as he's got around Mountain now and put a little bit of a gap between himself and Chris Mountain, and is starting to get closer and closer to that third place position of Ben Britton.
Yeah, that's the lucky dog position right there. So Dale, he's hunting that down right now. It's a really important position.
Yeah, and as he comes down the downhill, so there, Bruce Turner in that 03 machine wisely just pulls down to the inside. Lets these two guys, lets Dale go to get up there with Ben Britton, and he's not that far behind Britton now, as there's looking to be a battle here real soon for that third place position, moving up into the podium position. So Dale's definitely making some moves right now and trying to go. And there we go. Dale Reynolds now around the 34 of Ben Britton, so that moves him up into the third place position. So Dale's got a car that's definitely showing some speed right now at this late point in the race. Just unfortunate the position he's in. He's not going to be able to really do a whole lot with it other than, maintain third place, I think, at this point.
Yeah, I think Dale, he's one of those guys that pitted a little later than most of these guys. He's got fresher tires. We already know he's got a really good car. So he's going to be moving up there, and I think he's going to be aiming for that 3 of Lewis Bussa to get back on the lead lap instead of waiting around for a caution to get him back on the with the lucky dog.
Yes, I'd say the 34 did see exactly that. That Dale had definitely fresher tires, had a faster car, and didn't hold him up any at all. But I mean, if Dale does continue this and gets around Lewis Bussa, and the cautions comes out, then Britton's still sitting in the catbird seat, so to speak, as he would be our lucky dog, as it looks like Reynolds should catch Lewis Bussa here within the next couple of laps. So depending on when that caution could fall, or would fall, if it did, then Britton's still sitting in a very good position.
Yeah, when the leader comes by this time by, I believe it will be about 10 laps to go. So I think around here, Bussa, he should be good to go in fuel.
Yeah, it looks like he should be good. He's about 37 seconds now between first and second place cars, so no real pressure on Lewis Bussa. So it's his race to lose, so to speak, now. And unfortunately, we've seen some strange things happening over time, with Lewis Bussa when he's leading the race with 10 to go. But as long as he's taking care of this car real well throughout the night, we won't see an incident like we saw with him at Bristol last year. But Reynolds is definitely, that third place position. He's still closing on Lewis Bussa, so I'd expect to see him back, on lead lap. Although, I don't think any chance he's going to catch Ben Bando for that second place position before this is all over with, barring a caution. But he's definitely making some moves on Lewis Bussa and getting up there right now to get back on that lead lap position.
Yeah, that's important for both him and Ben Britton. So that's and there he goes right by Lewis Bussa. He's going to let Dale Reynolds, the faster car at the moment, right by, and that puts Dale right back on the lead lap, and that puts Ben Britton. He's that first car, the lucky dog, first car lap down, so he's now the lucky dog.
Yeah, and like I say, it's still about a 40-second difference between Bando and Reynolds, so don't see that one happening in 10 laps. But they'll have to, looks like, settle for third, barring for a caution was to fall. But outside of that, looks like Dale Reynolds should maintain that third place position, as he's, like you said earlier, Jacob, one of the guys out there with the freshest tires right now on the track, as he pitted a little later than most. So puts him into the third place position, and from here on out, it's up to Dale to just drive it home. Looking back through the field here a little bit, a couple of cars, side by side and such, but for the most part, everybody's a give and take right now. These guys are smart about, most of them are just, okay, this one's about ready to be over with, let's bring the car home in, one piece, so to speak. So not a whole lot of, contested racing going on, but some side by side stuff. So overall, good race for these guys tonight. 101 laps in now with all green flag racing, and don't have an exact tally right now, but I'm pretty sure that Lewis Bussa should be our most laps led here tonight.
Yeah, it's been pretty clear dominance from the three of Lewis Bussa once again, and he didn't get to do it last year on the road course, but Tonight, Bussa, he's showing that he's the dominant car once again.
Yeah, and just kind of like you were talking about there, Jacob, Louis Bussa was not able to run Infineon last year due to the fact he had a broken finger that was, I think they were talking about an operation at that time to fix that thing. It was swelled up pretty bad, wasn't able to fully grip the steering wheel here for Infineon, so wasn't able to make Infineon last year, but comes back this year and really shows that he missed putting on a show last year. Showing right now only 2 leaders tonight. Louis Bussa, of course, with 82 laps led, and Ben Bando has 20 laps led tonight, so it's been pretty much a dominance right there by the 2 of them.
Yeah, there's 8 laps to go on the track right now. It's just as long as the caution doesn't come out, it's just clear sailing for Bussa till the end here.
Yeah, it's Bussa's pretty much got this one, all upon himself. It's up to him to win or lose this one, as he's going around the 23 of Frankie Samato there. So that put Frankie Samato another lap down. So definitely not the night that Frankie was looking for either. But compared to a lot of races, Frankie's known around here in NuffWorld as the guy with the unlucky horseshoe stuck in his pocket. But he's been able to keep that car straight and keep it running. Currently running in 15th position right now. So not a bad night for Frankie. It's always a good night when Frankie's able to finish a race with that unlucky horseshoe in his pocket.
Yeah, and going back to back here to 6th and 7th with the 29 of Jeremy Enix and the 8 and the 91 of Brandon Lowe's. It's these two started. We knew they were gonna be fast. It's just they had bad qualifying spots, and the fact that it's gone green this whole way, that hasn't really helped them a lot. But they've come back from numerous spins, both of them, and they're sitting here top 10, 6 and 7. So really, really good job by both of those guys.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate, for Brandon Lowe's tonight, missing the qualifying, had to start in the very back position, very last position on the track, and then having to make that drive-through penalty there on the first lap, kind of setting back behind the 8 ball like we spoke about early in the race on the first lap. But, that's a big gap for anybody to be able to maintain. But he's moved up into the 7th place. He's had good run all night. He had that one spin that I can remember, set him back for just a little bit, but overall very good run for Brandon Lowe's in that number 91. I mean, you can't ask for a whole lot more out of that, and I think he will end up being our biggest points gainer of the night, as far as positions gained. But looks like we got, about 5 laps or so left here, and Louis Bussa is pretty much maintained. It's a different gap between him and Bando now, about 30 seconds. So, Bando's relatively going to have to settle, looks like, for that 2nd place position, and Reynolds still running back there in 3rd in that 27 machine. So right now it's most of these guys, I'm sure, are just looking to continue driving their cars the way they are and getting them home as they are, So very good run tonight for a lot of these guys. Dale Reynolds been able to overcome a couple of things so far tonight. He had that that one incident there earlier tonight when he spun out, and then got a little tap from the 91 of Brandon Lowe's there earlier. No, that was the 29, excuse me. But Reynolds had a couple of close calls there tonight, but has been able to maintain pretty much, and looks like he'll bring it home in a 3rd place position.
Yeah, just to really show the pace that these leaders are putting up right now, it's just there's 3 cars on the lead lap. 4 through 6th place is only 1 lap down. You got 7th and 8th who are both 2 laps down, and then 9th through 14th, they're all 3 laps down. It's just a great pace that they're setting, an incredible pace that they're setting. Just no one can contend with right now.
Yeah, and had a very interesting call there going into turn 1 as you were talking, Jacob. But the 88 of Ed Wilson kind of lost it going into turn 1 there. Kind of spun it right out on the track for a little bit as Louis Bussa was coming through. And just so luckily, Ed caught enough traction right there at the end to spin it back off into the grass, allowed Louis Bussa to come through right there. So close call for our race leaders. So it was about to get real ugly there for a second, but was able to continue that on, and Louis Bussa continues on with the lead, about 27 seconds. So didn't lose a whole lot of ground and was able to keep it pointed in right directions. No keep the fenders on it. So good break right there. Unfortunate break for the 88 spinning there in the turn 1, but Lewis Bussa gets through unscathed as our race leader. But we have 4 to go here this time by, so our last 4 laps coming down here. So, you know, it looks like Lewis Bussa had the he has had the dominant car all night. So it's just been, you know, one of those games. Looks like it was cat and mouse for a long time between him and Ben Bando as they swapped the lead back and forth. But the unfortunate event, you know, Ben Bando, that pit road speeding penalty really hurt him there, you know, on that second green flag pit stop that he made, and hasn't been able to overcome that gap since. So, you know, it's looks like it should go tonight to Lewis Bussa, barring anything happening here. So, you know, great run tonight by both of those guys. Just one unfortunate event there on pit road kind of put Ben Bando in a bad position.
Yeah, we all know it's not over till that white flag, or until that checkered flag goes in the air. But it's just a great run by this whole by everybody in here. Just no cautions all night. We've had not as many cell spins as I thought we would. It's just a great race all around.
Yeah, it's been a great race all night long. You know, there's been a lot of racing, a lot of passes made out there on the track, and you know, a lot of these guys having to drive from the back to the front. Some of these have had very steady runs, like we talked about with the 34 Ben Britton. He's pretty much maintained top 5 position about all night, which is you know, exactly like we talked about the pre-race, exactly what he's had to do. You know, currently running right now in 4th position, trying to gain some points in that points battle at VSU Cup Series. You know, on Brian Lee, who's our current points leader, he's running in 13th position. You know, so that's 8-9 valuable points right there for Ben Britton to try to catch up to Brian Lee. You know, for the number 1 position in that VSU point championship battle.
Yeah, it's tracks like these where you know that you're good at, and maybe some people aren't. It's really important for you to do good at tracks like these, so maybe a guy that you can really gain spots in the points, that so you can get an advantage, because these tracks you do have an advantage for some people, and they've got to take advantage of that.
You know, that's one thing we can say about Ben Britton. I mean, he's one of those guys that's relatively quiet overall. He doesn't win a lot of races. You don't see him up leading a lot of races. But it seems like every time you turn around and look, that young man's still sitting there in top 5, top 10, doing what he has to all year long to stay right there in chase contention. But, you know, led the chase most of last year with those steady top 10s, you know, and then ran into some problems there with the during the chase. But looks like, you know, sitting there doing the same thing this year, repeating what he did last year, staying up most top 5s, top 10s, and hopefully his chase this year will be better than it was last year. And he's got a good patient ability to be able to stay there all night. Like I say, looking back through the field here, you know, Jeremy Enoch's one of the guys we talked about a little bit earlier. You know, his last car 1 lap down right now, showing in 6th position. And Brandon Lowe's one of the guys we talked about getting that bad break there at the beginning by missing qualifying, having to do that drive-through. He's currently showing the first car 2 laps down, excuse me. You know, having a good run overall for Brandon. You can't say too much about that, but you know, that guy has drove himself from 27th starting position all the way up to 7th, you know, with the help of no caution. So, you know, overall good run for him tonight. He's got to feel good about that.
Yeah, he's started dead last on a drive-through. He's self-spun at least twice, and he's still sitting there in top 10, 7th place right now. So it just shows you the how good he is on road courses, and how much composure he has, even with many things happening to him. He still stays on the task, because the white flag is finally waved here at Sonoma, with Bussa still leading him.
Yeah, Bussa's got about a 20-second gap here over second place coming down the white flag. So, you know, it looks like should be a Sunday drive here, as we got one off the track as he's coming up into turn 3 here. But Lewis, it's pretty much a Sunday drive from here on down. You know, all he's got to do is make the last 8 corners or so, and this one is over with and in the books. But very dominant car all night long. You can't say enough about that. That's for sure.
Yeah, just had a little scare there with that lap car sitting in the dirt there, but just gets him in. He gets by him clean, so it's all good. It's just pretty much just easy here on out from for Bussa, just to cap off another great run.
Yeah, and looks like, kind of looking back here, looks like the 08 of Danny Gutierrez spins around coming out of the turn 11 hairpin there in front of Dale Reynolds. Had that close moment there, but Dale's able to clear that and move on through. He takes the white flag now in third position as Lewis Bussa's coming through turn 11 now for the final time, coming down to take that checkered flag. So very dominating win tonight for Lewis Bussa. Very good car all night long. 89 laps led tonight, so very good job. 90 laps led tonight for Lewis Bussa. But I want to go on record and say, very nice race for all these NuffWORLD drivers out here tonight. Keeping it green for this long takes a lot more than anybody really realizes, and taking care of your cars for this long. So my hat's off to these guys. Caution-free race tonight for 110 laps. Can't say enough about that.
Yeah, so that's a great effort. To get around this track 110 times with no cushions, it's hard to get around this track one time without wrecking it. So it's just a really good job by everybody.
Right, and coming down, like I say, Lewis Bussa, of course, our race winner. In that number 3 machine, coming home second tonight will be the number 33 of Ben Bando. Coming home third will be the number 27 of Dale Reynolds. With fourth place Ben Britton hanging in there and doing what he had to do all night long. And surprisingly enough, top 5, Chris Melton, that young rookie, was able to bring it home in the top 5 position with that number 78. Good job to him, first time here. And bringing home 6th, the 29 of Jeremy Enix, with Brandon Lowe's running in 7th position. 8th will be Danny Gutierrez. 9th being Bruce Turner. Good recovery for Bruce Turner after had some issues throughout the night. And another rookie in the top 10 at number 87 of Kevin Kelly Jr. Congratulations to all our top 10 drivers tonight. But some of these guys didn't, Jacob, have the same amount of good luck that some of the others did, as we see our points leader, Brian Lee, finishing down in 13th position. So, like I say, Ben Britton will pick up 9 valuable points on him in that VSU Championship Series. So that's going to be a big plus right there for Britton to be able to say he got something accomplished tonight. He wasn't up front all night. He didn't get to lead no laps, but he was able to close up 9 points. So that should put him only about 22 points out of the lead position in the points. So we'll be back, though, to talk to our race winner and our top 3 here right after these quick commercial breaks. So stay tuned here to NuffWORLD TV, live from Sonoma, California in the Edinburg Roadrunners 350.
Are you looking to start your own professional internet radio station the easy way? Sam Vibe was specifically designed for you. From the makers of Sam Broadcaster, Sam Vibe takes advantage of the cloud to let you focus on what is important: managing and running your station. There are 5 simple steps to get started with Sam Vibe. 1. Sign up for a free account at NuffWORLD.com. No credit card information is required to get a free account. 2. Download and install Sam Vibe. 3. Check your email to retrieve your account information and login details. 4. Run Sam Vibe and enter your username and password. 5. The Sam Vibe Quick Start Wizard shows you the first steps to start your station. Simply upload your music, turn on your station, and tune in. Too easy? Don't worry, Sam Vibe caters for the needs of both novice and professional broadcasters. Sound exciting? Give it a try. Sign up for free now at SamVibe.com to experience how broadcasting should be.
There we go.
And welcome back to Sonoma, California, to tonight's Edinburg Roadrunner 350, brought to you by NuffWORLD TV here, live broadcast. I'm down here in Victory Lane with tonight's winner of the Edinburg Roadrunners 350, presented by Nuff Radio and NuffWORLD TV. But Louis Bussa, kind of take us through the night, man. You had a dominant car and led 90+ laps tonight. How was things out there on the track?
The track was pretty slick, so I was pretty much just trying to keep the rear tires hooked up the whole run, trying to keep them spinning them, so I could keep, forward drive through the long run, and it was working out. Just wanted to keep the car on the track and keep moving forward. And, it was a good run. The car handled awesome. It was just, just kind of out there. We were just kind of out there cruising around, me and Bando, just trying to keep a decent pace going, and the setup was just great.
Now, me and Jacob had even talked about that during the race and stuff. When this thing started, if we'd have told you it'd go 110 laps, all green flag racing, would you have believed any of that?
Yeah, I think I would, because our pure sim race was really, really close to doing that. We had one like early caution, and then one like right at the end. But you spread out here so much, and everybody's just—it's such a give and take track, and when you get up on somebody, they'll kind of get up out of your way. You ain't got to race them too hard, because it was hard to race each other real hard, as slick as the track was, because you could one little bobble, you could have took yourself and whoever you were racing with out. So the track was slick, and there was some spins, but yeah, I believe it. Everybody here in this league's pretty good drivers, so it's no surprise to me.
Now, with the race going green like that, 110 laps, did that play into the fatigue factor as the laps wore on? Because I know this track, unlike most of the ones we have on the oval circuit, it's you drop it in fourth gear, never really change the gears. But here, you're pretty much through the gearboxes. A long race like that with all these laps that start playing on you physically?
Yes, sir. My right shoulder was really starting to clench up, just running through the gears, and it was a long, grueling race, and then, I got to take a little bit of a break that last run when, because I knew Bando sped, so I really didn't have to get up on the wheel or do anything crazy. I was just kind of out there, riding around by myself, just trying to find a place where I was by myself, not by anybody, so I didn't have to worry about, anybody, maybe, wheel hopping and getting into me, or, maybe me wheel hopping and spinning out or something. So I was just trying to get myself my own spot and cruise around, and those last 30 some odd laps is just like a Sunday drive, just trying to get the laps in to get to the end of it.
Now, one thing we did notice there with inside of 10 to go, looks like Ed Wilson at 88 had spun out in front of you right there in turn 1. It looked like it was a close incident for you. Was it as close, and were you as much as probably what we thought it was up in the booth here?
Yeah, that one was. Yeah, that clinched me up a little bit. I saw him going around, and I was trying to decide whether he was going to keep going straight off to the right, which is what I thought at first. And then I saw as he lost momentum getting up the hill, I saw the car start to grab and kind of slide over to the left. That's where I was heading. So as soon as I saw smoke, though, I started slowing down. So I had enough time to kind of avoid him. It was a close call, but I knew the line I was trying to take through there, and I knew I'd miss him, but it was a little nerve-wracking there. You see smoke in front of you, and you're the leader with about 20-some second lead, and anything could happen. At the end of these races, for you to lose it, anything can happen, and it has happened.
Yeah, that's one of the things me and Jacob had kind of alluded to too. Is when it come down with 10 to go, it's pretty much your race to either win or lose. But kind of going back now, I think we were alluding to it a little bit earlier in the broadcast. But this is your first start here. Unfortunately, over here at Sonoma, California, because last year, you weren't able to race due to the broken finger and such. So is this a sweet redemption in the fact that you didn't get to run it last year?
Yeah, it is, man. I was really looking forward to the road courses last year because I've never got to run them here on ARCA, and I've never done it once. And I got a little bit of a test session last year, and another league, a sister league that was going on. And I was running good, but I was running around with one hand, and I was running. I ran well. I just had a feeling like I don't know what it was earlier this week. As soon as I got on the track, I was just comfortable. I don't know. I consider myself to be a real technical driver, and it's a real technical track. So I think it just kind of played into, my type of driving style with, taking care of the tires and, not spinning the rears and, just keep plugging along and moving forward and, just try to get them on the long run. And, it's worked out just fine.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here looking on our live broadcast. We got over here in the chat room. We got Miss Shauna. I take it that's the wife, but want to say hello to her. But any sponsors and such you want to give a thank you to?
Yeah, I'm gonna say first I'm gonna say hi to my wife, Shauna. Love you, babe. And gotta thank Edinburg, the Roadrunners, for sponsoring this race, stepping up. Man, it's awesome that we got sponsors that want to step up and broadcast races. That's some of the cool. I mean, that's just cool, ain't it? Just getting these races broadcasted. NuffWorld and all the admins, you guys for for doing the broadcast, and you, Buster, and J-Pop, everything that everybody's got going on. And we had TeamSpeak earlier, Diamond Medical and Spatial. TB Designs for the taking over the pole award. Valley Sports University for sponsoring Halls on Post, Starting Park, Vine for Design, Team Sidious, Potomac. It's crazy. It's just crazy how this league just keeps blowing up. Everybody wants a piece of it. If you're listening to this and you ain't got a piece of it yet, get a piece of it, because this league's gonna go somewhere.
All right, there you have it from Victory Lane down here with tonight's winner, Louis Bussa III, who takes it home leading 90 laps tonight. Very impressive win. I'll throw it down to you, Jacob. You got second place Ben Bendo, from my understanding.
Yes, I do. Ben, great run for you tonight, second place finish. Can you just take us through this long and tough race tonight?
Thanks, J-Pop. Yeah, it was a really long race, man. And coming into the race, this track, it just had no grip at all. You really had to take care of the tires, or you just burn them down. And I knew coming in that Lewis was faster than me. I really just wanted to get second place, and I was going to be happy with that. And we came home in second. I had to do a little bit different tire strategy, because I was getting a little worse tire wear than him. But in the end, it all worked out good.
So did you feel like pitting, with your pit strategy, pitting a few laps earlier than Lewis did? You feel like that was really your best bet to get by him for the win?
Well, I don't know if you saw my pit entrance there, but I got in really hot, almost wrecked it, and ended up speeding. I wasn't going to win anyways, and I pit because the way that I pit early on, I was getting really bad tire. My crew chief was telling me I was getting really bad tire around the right rear. There was barely anything left. So at that last run there, it was just too long for me to, go the complete run without pitting. So I had no choice, or I would have probably blown the right rear. I could have taken it real easy, but I figured just run it hard, split the run in half, and I'm still going to get second. So it's going to work out.
Well, that's a great run for you tonight. Is there anybody you want to thank tonight for this performance?
I'd just like to thank Roadrunner for coming on board, all you guys for broadcasting, all my teammates over there at America Championship Racing, Christian, Bruce, and all them, and Louis Bussa, and yeah, just thank you guys. What a great league we have, and move on to next week.
Well, once again, Bano, congratulations on your run tonight, and I'm gonna send it down to Ducey.
Yeah, I'm standing down here with the number 20 driver of the number 27 machine here, Dale Reynolds, man. Not exactly the night I'm sure you were looking for, Dale, but you were able to salvage a top three. Kind of give us an idea of what it was out there tonight. Everybody talks about the loose conditions. The track was very slick. I mean, were you handling with the same thing?
Yeah, definitely, indeed. The track was really slick during practice for us. We came in this week with a whole new package that we came in with a road course last year, and we really struggled with the rear end grip all night. And Bussa and Bendo, those guys they were in a league of their own. And to be perfectly honest, to walk away in third and to still finish on the lead lap with them running the show. It was, I'd definitely say that was an accomplishment. The track definitely was very slick indeed, and I really don't think we're going to come back with the same setup package next year.
Kind of looking back, early part of the race there, you got coming up the hill there, and you know, you kind of lost traction coming off. I think it was turn 2 or 3, and that car looped around on you and stuff. What kind of, you know, mindset does that put you in now, knowing that you lost that kind of time to the leaders and such, and trying to get back up through the pack?
Yeah, it definitely wasn't something that we were that we wanted. You know, we were hanging in pretty tough with Bussa and Bando, and we were starting to lose just a little bit. And to be perfectly honest, the spin out there up at the top of the hill kind of caught me by surprise. It was almost like I hit oil or something. But you know, it's definitely probably due to driver error. But I mean, that's just what it felt like. And you know, and then we had I think it was at the end of that run, we were getting ready to pit, and we spun out. We blew a right rear tire coming through turn 10, and we spun out right before the pit stop or the pit stall. And you know, honestly, it was very fortunate that the blown tire happened right there, because you know the pit was right there. But you know, they really had the best cars all night, and the spins obviously took us, it set us back further than we wanted to be, but I think with the pitch strategy that we had, it definitely played off, because BB and Chris Belton and a couple of those guys, they were pretty quick, and without that pitch strategy that we had decided to do, may not have finished third.
Right now, like I say, I'm even looking, you know, like I say, right now at the track temperature being, it was 95 degrees when we finished the race. So, you know, a lot of guys I heard over the radios complaining about that loose condition. But, you know, anything about pit road that surprised you at all tonight?
Pit road, it actually kind of surprised me with how much people were short pitting. You know, my mindset, you know, is pretty straightforward: run a thing out of gas and come in and pit. You know, I was surprised that people short pitted as much, but you know, I guess that's to be expected, especially at a road course, you know, where people try to work the pit strategy backwards. But that was about it. You know, the pit road was completely fine. You know, I never got thrown off by the speed limit or anything like that. It was actually pretty smooth on pit road for me. I can't say that it was that way for everywhere else on the track, but you know, pit road wasn't too bad.
All right, well, congratulations, Dale, on a third place run tonight. Very hard fought, I'm sure, and from what it looked like out there. But any thank yous? This is your time to talk.
Yes, number one, I would like to say hello and to my girlfriend Nikki. I love you, baby, and thank you for putting up with me. Want to say thank you to the Roadrunners for sponsoring this race. It was a fantastic race, and just amazing that people are willing to throw sponsorship dollars out there, you know, to help us run this league. You know, I know sponsorship dollars really are hard to come by during this tough economic time. So all the sponsors, I mean, TB Designs and Diamond Medical and Valley Sports University, everybody that comes together for this great cause, I really appreciate them. Got to thank everybody in NuffWorld, Ducey and Buster, you guys up in the broadcast, J-Pop. You know, you guys really take a lot of time out and effort to give us the best broadcast you guys could possibly throw at us. You know, all the admins in NuffWorld. You know, this really is a fantastic league. I love this league to death.
All right, and there you have it. Your top three finishers tonight: Louis Bussa, Ben Brando, and Dale Reynolds. Very great race tonight, guys, to all of you. 110 laps, you know, all green flag racing. You surprised me. I'm looking for at least a couple of cautions tonight, so congratulations to all three of you.
Thank you, Deuce.
But just want to say, once again, another thank you here to Edinburg Roadrunners. You know, if you're down around the Edinburg, Texas area, want to catch a good baseball game, go there and visit these guys, man. They put on some good games. If you want to listen to some baseball online, they got a link on there, roadrunnerball.com. Go over there and listen live. They got some good games going on. Right now is prime time of their season, so definitely go over and check those guys out. Thanks to our sponsors, just like we talked about earlier. But this is Douglas Sargent signing off, along with Jacob Popolowski and Stephen Mahana here from Sonoma, California for the Edinburg Roadrunners 350. We'll be back next week. You guys see you here.